live from Arnold Anderson Stadium in lovely Brantford, Ontario. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Brantford Red Sox IBL Baseball. Coming to you live today from Rogers TV. We're coming to you from a new place. You've seen us on YouTube. You may have seen us on local cable. Today, we got a new crew. We're excited for some great production, and what a game we have to cover. The best team in the IBL, the Welland Jackfish. They take the trip. They head up to Brantford, and today we are in for a warm, sunny Sunday of baseball and a game that Brantford needs more than ever and their ongoing charge for the playoffs. Joined alongside me today is Brandon Barnard. You're making your debut here alongside me on the call. You've never done commentary before, but you're a great voice. You've been our longtime director, and I'm excited to have you today.
Yeah, I've done a little bit here and there. I mean, I do a little bit for school, a little bit for recreational use. I mean, I talk to myself when sports happen, and I can understand it a bit. So, and being with the Red Sox so much, it's pretty.
No, you're all good.
Being like here at every single Red Sox game, understand how the team is. I mean, on a recent hot streak right now, coming off I think a couple of games ago, 25-3 against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Coming off a big win on Friday night against the Hamilton Cardinals, 4-3. Close game, but I think it's a really big push, especially with them pushing for that last playoff spot with Kitchener and Hamilton just above them. Couple games back, 3 games back on the Panthers as well as the Cardinals as well. So, I mean, Cardinals on a 4-game losing streak as well, so Brantford really needs to pick up some points here.
And the big thing for Brantford has been they've played the good teams well all season. Welland's been one of our best matchups. We come off that game on Thursday, that 9-3 road loss. Welland's a great team at home, so that's when I think you're okay scratching in the win column. But the real thing is going to be making these good games against good teams. A lot of one-run losses Brantford fans are used to seeing early in the year. Today's the day you got to execute. You get crazy weather, you get a hot game, you get a day I think you can really work with. And as the anthem comes to an end, we'll get ready. We'll give you some info to warm up for this one. And the biggest talking point, we'll go to our players to watch. First guy I want to talk about today for the Welland Jackfish, one of the premier hitters in the IBL, Mateo Portulato, getting the call today to actually hit further down that lineup than I think a lot of fans would, a lot of Welland fans would expect. He's arguably their best hitter statistically, hitting in that 6 hole today. You see 422 average. We've talked a lot about Rene Takioka. He has dropped since that last couple games. He was leading the league in batting average earlier this week. Now Mateo Portulato's taken over that crown, has done a great job, like what I talk about with the next guy, Chris Ortega, converting those hits into RBIs. He's an extra base hitter. Portulato, a huge power threat. And we haven't seen a lot of home runs in this barn this season here at Arnold Anderson. It's been relatively a game of, extra base hits, a lot of base running mattering here at Brantford. And we'll put up now Chris Ortega, and he's a guy I want to highlight because he had that winner in that game against Hamilton, that big 4-3 win, that 9th inning late clutch hit, puts them over the top. And again, not only is he a guy hitting for good average, but he's hitting for extra bases. And I just get a feeling in a game where elite pitching is on the mound for both sides, those extra base hits, stealing runs here and there where you don't need a plethora of hits, that's going to be huge. And one of the reasons Welland is going to need that extra base power is because Connor Irvin's on the mound today for the Brantford Red Sox. You've seen quite a bit of him. He pitched about a week ago in that game against Kitchener last Sunday. I mean, you're experienced with Connor Irvin, Brandon. Tell us a little bit about him.
He was great. I mean, he had a hot start to that game. He's started 5 games. I mean, he's walked 16, 24 strikeouts. He's a 1-2 record, which isn't too bad. He starts hot though. From what I see, when he starts hot. That game last Sunday against Kitchener, I think it was. He was starting to get a little cold. It was a close game still, 3-1. So he does not allow a lot of runs when he's on that mound. So I mean, we're in for a sweet treat today. If he can get off to a hot start and keep it, I see no problem with Brantford staying in this game.
First man up to the plate today for the Welland Jackfish, Jonah Wisner starting at second base today. We'll take that first pitch right down the middle. Irvin is on the board with his first strike of the day. And remember that Sunday effort that Irvin pitched in last week? He was against Owen McNeil, who had a no-hitter through 7. So he had a great performance, but one that you could argue kind of gets overshadowed. That one to go outside of the zone as well. Or strike number 2. It'll just find its way off the corner. Already getting Wisner in some trouble early, and this is a thing, Brandon, that Irvin has done exceptionally well, is put pressure on batters early in games this year. The 0-2. That one will hit by Wisner. That's going to find its way by the third baseman. That's Ortega out there today, and he didn't have a chance at that one in his range. So on base, stand-up single. Jonah Wisner leads it off for the Jackfish.
That's an early hit. That's a good early hit for Welland. Subdue Connor Irvin pretty early. He can start hot. So get him down early. Get on the bases early, get an early run, put this team down, just coming off a big win on Friday.
And that's what we saw in that effort on Thursday in Welland, is that early lead. You know, the Jackfish put up 7 runs in the first 4 innings, and Brantford's quite well at making those games close. They're able to work themselves back into contests, but being able to overcome those deficits leading to wins has kind of eluded the Red Sox to this point in this season. That one's going to go high for ball 1 here. This is Gio Morello, the center fielder.
Gio Morello hitting 15 RBIs on 24 hits. Attempted pickoff, but 15 RBIs on 24 hits this season, which is honestly pretty good. Doesn't hit a lot, but when he hits, he gets it into play. I mean, 76 at bats, 17 strikeouts to 11 walks. I mean, it's not a horrible stat line by any means, in my opinion.
Not at all. That's why he's hitting in the 2 spot. He's one of those guys that they trust for a bit of early lineup pop. That one going to go a little bit high. Cassidy Watt had to stand up to keep that one in front of him, but one of the best defensive back catches in the game. Big swing and a miss there from Morello. Irvin working himself back into a 2-1 count, and out there on first base, we did see that pickoff attempt. That's Weisner out there on first base, your first hitter of the day, and he's being held company by Jeremy Veyu today, getting the start at first base. He was actually the catcher at the start of the year before Cassidy Watt took over. And then he's had some DH appearances, but the first time this season he'll get the start at first as another ball down the zone. 3-1 now the count, Irvin to Morello.
I've noticed there's a bit, especially in the catcher position, but there's been a lot of Brantford players switching around, alternating positions, but I think we have a lot of versatility in this squad. If a player goes down injured, player goes down just hurt, it's like players can fill in like they're also comfortable with each other. That it does actually, in the long run, once the season starts to run long, I think it will play big compared to the other bottom teams. No bottom teams, but the teams are competing against the playoffs, the Kitcheners and the Hamiltons.
New partner, new neighbor there for Jeremy Veyu is a 4-ball walk for Gio Morello. So that's going to be runners on first and second for the Welland Jackfish. Now to the plate, it's going to be a new face, Pierre Boucher, the left fielder. Watch that one go by in the dirt for ball 1. And really so much hitting power at the front of this Welland Jackfish lineup. They're the best team in the league for a reason. Started off on that incredible run of form. They've dropped off a little bit in the last couple games, but they still lead the league at 16-6. And that offensive firepower really from 1 to 6 or 7. If you're the starter today, if you're Connor Irvin, you really don't get a break anywhere early in the lineup. That one going to take a bit of an odd hop. It's going to bounce away and go down as a strike. Made a little bit of contact with the bat. And yeah, we got Boucher, Robert Mullen, one of the best power hitters in the entire IBL, if not the best. Then Grayson Barrett, and again, our player to watch, Mateo Portolato. You saw his stats pre-game. If he's hitting in the 6th spot, you're a pretty volatile, pretty dangerous offensive lineup.
Exactly, yeah. And to have a guy on a player to watch hitting, what was his average in the 400s?
426.
426, hitting 6 in the batting order. It kind of puts into favor and puts a testament on how good your offense is and why one of the best right now in the IBL.
1-2 count now here. Irvin a chance for his first K of the day. Kicks and deals. That one alone in the zone. Does that battle keep going? Even 2-2 now. And Connor Irvin, I think the big thing that this Brantford team wishes they could have had in that game against Welland, the thing I feel like they got away, they didn't really get hit against Well. They actually out-hit the Welland Jackfish 10-9 in that 9-3 loss, but 11 walks combined up by Brantford pitchers allowed. That was just a game that I think they were just giving them too much to work with. And when you play teams like Welland, is that one in the dirt as well? Going to appeal. They're going to say no swing, so we'll go to a full count here. But that game like on Thursday in Welland, I mean, again, 11 walks if you're the Brantford Red Sox. You just can't let a team as good as Welland get a night off, give their hitters free opportunities, and they take advantage. They capitalize even when they have those rough hitting performances. We've seen that a lot where Welland will get out hit, not come through with the win. Today, if you're a guy like Irvin, his numbers are a little high in that walk to strikeout ratio, but hopefully he's being smart. He's going to put balls over the plate. He did there, but that one's fouled off to keep the full count going.
Exactly, and it's a comparison to the top teams, to the bottom of the league teams. Brantford, little mistakes, the 11 walks is what cost them that game. You've proven you can out-hit the best team in the league, but you've got to massage out and get those extra little mistakes out of the game, because Welland isn't making those big mistakes, isn't Ooh.
That one well hit, going to go right to
there.
first base. Jeremy Veyu just going to take it in himself. He'll record the early out, but the runners will advance. Not a bad decision there by Veyu. He's making a rare start today at first base. We know he's got a good glove at the catcher position, and you got an eye for defense if you're ever a catcher at any point in your career. But starting the game off early, I don't mind not making that flash play. And it's one of the lesser talked about aspects of the Welland Jackfish. But a lot of their players, even the ones that aren't really stealing threats game to game, are quick on the base paths.
Oh, yeah.
And you can never underestimate just how quick you got to make those defensive plays. As up to bat comes Robert Mullen, one of the best in the IBL. The big number that'll pop off the stat sheet: 9 home runs on the young season.
Exactly. He's almost double ahead of the second on, and that's a hit.
Well hit past the shortstop again, just barely out of range, finding that gap between second and short. And on the board are the Welland Jackfish as Weisner comes in to score. Mullen with the RBI single.
It took all of one pitch. I mean, wasn't necessarily a home run, but again, another another hit. That's his 23rd hit, 74 at bats. I mean, and 9 home runs. So it's a testament to how good he's been playing. He's got almost double the second place player in his team for home runs, which is tied between Barrett and Weisner, both with 5. So,
well, speaking of the double, here is Grayson Barrett, the first baseman. Now looking at runners on the corners in front of him. You got Barrett, and then Porcelato behind him will be up. He's now in the batter's circle. So a dangerous time to allow 4 different successful plays, though there was the 1 sack single in there. But other than that, the Jackfish have had the measure of Irvin in this first inning as that one goes by for strike 2. The big thing I think for all these Brantford starters is they're so good at getting in favorable counts early in games. They really pressure the zone, all of them. Arbach, Armitage, and of course today's starters. That one's going to go right over to Veyu. Now he'll try for the double. To second, that one to Bateman. That one back. The throw is high, and he will stay on the bag there. Grayson Barrett will get away with that one. And Mateo Porcelato, here he comes, and he's a guy we just talked about earlier in the day. The fact that there are threats this late in the lineup for the Brantford Red Sox, not many teams face just an onslaught the way they have here, and that did bring in the runner as well. So 2-0 now for the Welland Jackfish, an early lead that the Brantford Red Sox did not want to give up.
Exactly. It's tough for Brantford. This is how the best teams are. You're getting an onslaught 7, 8, 9. You're bottom of the list, and you're still facing class players, just absolute, just incredible players, and a little bit of a
that one will take a weird bounce. I think they are going to call it a wild pitch, so the runner will legally advance. That's going to be Grayson Barrett heading over to second base.
What I was saying, I mean, like Porcelato, what's he hit? Like bottom of the order, near the bottom of the order, and he's still such a threat on base. Like it's hitting a 417 average, 25 hits, 11 RBIs. I mean, that's 60 at bats. I mean, like what are you gonna do? Like hitting a 417, and he's at the bottom of the order. Like.
Yeah, Porcelato, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 walks. He was successful in every plate appearance on Thursday, and he was a big part of that game. And it was kind of out of hand early, and the bullpen, once you really get Brantford to work deep into their relief bullpen, we know that's going to be one of the weaknesses of the team is that back end of the pitching order this year. So finding himself down 2-0 here, Irvin looking to get back in the count. That one in on him. Won't find the zone, says the home plate umpire. Speaking of your umpires today for tonight's game, Trevor Stoico is going to get the call. He's the gentleman behind the plate, doing the all-important job at home. Adam Sims out there on first base, and Chris Marco, your third base umpire. So now 3-0. Deals. That one finds the zone on the low side. He'll keep this one alive. 3-1 now the count for Connor Irvin. 2 sacrifice singles, 2 regular singles, 1 that RBI by Robert Mullen, and a walk by Gio Morello is the inning so far. Deals. That one just finds the zone. Porcelato was turning off to walk to first, and he'll make his way back.
Yeah. I think he was expecting to get the call there, 3-1. I mean, he was expecting it. Welland's off to a hot start, but setting the tone early. Umpire is setting the tone early, making sure. Setting a zone, and I don't know if he'll agree. I don't know if Porcelato will like it, but I mean, sets a precedent.
That one in the dirt. That'll be a no-doubter. There's the walk. 6 pitches there to Porcelato. He'll take his place on first base. So, besides those sacrifice plays, those 2 sacrifice singles, no recorded outs yet by the Brantford Red Sox starter Connor Irvin. Tio Ortega is going to be the man on the mound for the Welland Jackfish. We'll see him at the conclusion of this half inning. And again, we talked about it pre-game, but the big thing today is going to be just how important this game is to add to the ledger for the Brantford Red Sox as they really start to get their home games back. They've had an unprecedented road streak of how many road games they've had to play over the last couple of weeks. They've done relatively well with it. Now they're going to get some home efforts, and I know it's a big team in Welland today, but holding the offense to few runs here, really controlling this game and getting a big win would be massive to bring that playoff deficit down to 2. That one going to be chopped, just foul, no play, and Brandon Luther will head back to the plate.
Look, he took a tiny little bit of a bite out of him, or he just wasn't expecting for it to hit like that. No, this is big. Brantford needs this. Even if they don't come out with the victory, they need to put the pressure on Welland. Don't make it easy on them. 9-3. They're looking like coming off 9-3. They're confident. Welland's coming in confident, top of the league. But Brantford really needs to put it in. I remember the start of the season, first home game of the year, 4-3 loss to the London Majors, which I can assume. I thought you were. I think you can say that I know it's a loss, but it's a pretty proud loss in a way, because the London Majors top team, to hold them to 1 run in your home opener is. It's pretty surreal. It's pretty good. So like, this team has talent. Brantford has talent. They have skill. It's just minimizing those tiny errors that are costing them the runs and costing them the big games that they need the points in. Well, not necessarily the points, but the wins.
Good change up there by Connor Irvin for the strike. Now finds himself in a favorable count against Luther. Could see the first strikeout of the day for number 20.
A strikeout could send us to the bottom of the first. He needs this. Irvin needs this.
Yeah, still runners on first and second. Deals. That one chopped back foul. Doing a good job keeping the count alive there is Brendan Luther.
Luther hitting a 341 average this year. Not too bad. I mean, 82 at bat, 28 hits, 12 of them RBIs, 12 walks to 16 strikeouts. So
here's the 1-2 getting ready. That one going to be sent right at the first base line. Finds foul by inches. And Jeremy Veyu gets away with one there, making, again, a rare appearance today defensively at first base. And he has been tested here early. To run you through the rest of the Brantford defense, we got Jeremy Veyu starting today at first. The Lucas Bateman, the everlasting second baseman. He's been there pretty much every game of the season. Lucas Lefebvre, remember, since he subbed with Max Schmarter a few games back, he's starting today at shortstop. Chris Ortega often plays first. He'll get the call today at third. Then it's Tebbett left, Paolo center, and Brody Black in right field. And that one is going to be blocked well by Cassidy. Will take the ball. The runners will head back to their spots, and Cassidy Watt has been a steadfast presence in the entire season defensively since he became the everyday guy. And I talked about it a lot with Brian Howley, who's out today, but congrats again to him the other night on the call. Birth of his granddaughter, he found out mid-game, and hopefully he's been spending time with her this week. But we talk a lot about it with Brian Howley, the importance of a catcher working with pitchers multiple times in the year. This, I believe, the 4th time he started across from Irvin, who deals, who strikes him out, and will end the top of the first inning. Cassidy Watt will catch his first strikeout of the day, and Irvin's on the board. An inning that I went further down the lineup than I think the Brantford Red Sox would have preferred, but with how many base runners were on the plate there, to get out of that one, to make those fielding plays they needed, could have got a lot worse. Could have got a lot worse.
It's nice. You just feel there's tiny little bit of pressure. Irvin, a little bit of a shaky start, lots of hits. I mean, they couple at bats are taking 1-2 pitches, and then they're getting a run in. So I mean, just settle it down. Jackfish only up 2. It's very easy that they can come back into this game at the bottom of the first and make it 2-2 easily. They need to be clinical, though. They need to be really clinical on the plate. They can't be just swinging at everything, getting too many strikeouts. They got to be what's the word? They got to be they just got to be almost not perfect, but like a very calm but confident game. To make sure that they don't, the Welland Jackfish can't run away with it.
Well, thinking back, I don't even know if I introduced myself before we introduced the Welland starting pitcher. Marshall Crocker alongside Brandon Barnard today on the call. Thank you again. Rogers TV coming in. They will be producing this week's game, I believe Friday's game against Barrie. And
Sunday's game. Sunday's game, and then one more game preceding next Sunday's game.
Thank you for that. So Friday's game, Barrie, that contest here in Brantford. That will be covered as usual on the IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube channel. You'll see us there. Marshall Crocker and Brendan Barnard, we're happy to bring be bringing you today's game. Now let me introduce your starter for the Welland Jackfish. That's Teo Ortega, number 22 out there on the mound today. One of the best in the league in large sample ERA, a 2.16 ERA heading into today. He's 3-0 on the season. The number that pops out to me about him, Brandon, 32 strikeouts to 4 walks. Incredible the numbers he's put up. That level of high-end consistency of pounding the strike zone, not allowing balls. What that says to me, it almost telegraphs if you're a Brantford hitter, oh, this guy's going to go after me. He's going to attack the zone. And your decision-making is not so much about swing discipline, right, about deciding to go or don't go. It's about timing up those pitches. If you know they'll be in on the strike zone, you know they'll be balls.
Exactly. No, at 32, what'd you say, 32 to 4?
To 4.
That is monstrous. 32 strike. Oh, that is monstrous. That's a big reason on why Welland has been so clinical and so just so class this year. Just like confidence, swagger, just consistency, as you said, on the mound. I mean, it's such a giant part of the game, and look where it's got them, top of the leaderboard.
Here comes Ethan Palos. He's led off the season more or less since about the 4th or 5th game of the year. He's been steadfast in that leadoff spot this season for the Brantford Red Sox, and he's a guy that gets on base, is a threat on the base paths, that hasn't had those high-end hitting numbers that I think we saw early in the year. A lot of these Brantford hitters have silently seen their averages drop, but he's making more of an impact in those other ways, and he's been steadfast defensively. Perfect fielding percentage on the year as he goes down 0-1 on the first pitch by Ortega. That one's in as well. What did I say? Pound in the zone. 2 early strikes here by Teo Ortega. And to give you some numbers, a bit of a rundown here for Ethan Palos. Well, to give you kind of a general summary, that one comes in on the knees. He'll stay out of the way, and it'll take a bounce off towards the Welland dugout. But Ethan Palos, he's a guy that is going to hit about 300. He's very consistent, has a good walk ratio, 13 strikeouts to 9 walks, which by this Brantford team standards, pretty solid. Swing discipline's really been one of our main issues on the year. Only thing I want to see worked on, no home runs on the season, surprisingly, although that's not what you value from a leadoff hitter, as he'll strike out there on that 3rd pitch of the at-bat. Not a leadoff hitter that is typically going to earn you home runs, which is becoming a commonality in the IBL. But the big thing for him on base, 3 caught stealings, no successful stolen bags on the year. If he gets on base today, that's something I want to see him fix. But a gentleman who does get on base today, Brandon, we've talked about, we love his warm-up routine. He's doing those high knees going up to the plate. But Rene Takioka, 403 on the year. He can put it on base.
He absolutely can. He's been playing in the last few games. I know he got no hits, didn't really, wasn't able to really do too much against the Hamilton Cardinals on Friday. Mind you, Jeremy Veilleux coming up big for them in that game, which is important. But Rene Takioka, I mean, he came in. No, he didn't come in at the start of the year. I remember doing the first couple games in, and he's like just like if. Oh my, that is gone. He, in my opinion, he's one of my favorite players to watch. I don't know what it is. He's just like he's confident, but he's almost fun. I don't know how to explain it, but he just looks just like he's having a good time in there. And it's translating to his game. He's not thinking about everything too much. And I mean, like, look, he's batting 403. I mean, he was leading the league last week. I think last week was the one batting average. So I mean, this is gonna be, if Brantford does push and make it to the playoffs, you're going to have to thank Rene Takioka for this.
Dude, great job there to get ahead in the count. Goes up 2-0 and a misplay by the shortstop. Rene Takioka is on base in a clinical Takioka at-bat. Make the pitcher work for it, put him behind in the count, and make him throw something down the middle. And once he saw it, Takioka barreled that one up quite well. First hit of the day, Rene Takioka. We'll see if the score designates that an error or an official hit. But whatever they call it, Lucas Bateman now has a man ahead of him on base, which I will say, Bateman's hit the 3 spot pretty much all year. Not often he sees runners in front of him in the first inning.
No, but I think it's big for Brantford. Welland got on the bases early in top of the first. Brantford coming right back and doing it. I mean, Lucas Bateman batting a 284 average, 81 at bats. What's that? 23 hits. I mean, that's not too bad. 8 RBIs, but he got 10 strikeouts to 8 walks. I mean, it's honestly not too bad. Only 10 strikeouts on the year for top of the third in the top of the order. So I mean, they really could capitalize on this.
Would be a good time to the power threats. Ortega and Watt are going to hit 4 and 5 today. They'll be coming up momentarily. Here's the 1-0 from Ortega. That one just clips the bottom of the zone, doing a great job really painting the edges so far in this contest. Number 22 there on the mound for Welland. He'll now think about Takioka, who Well, Takioka, stolen base threat for this team. The best Brantford has at swiping bags, 8 on the year. So he'll have to be vigilant, taking a look there towards the first base line, and a fairly large leadoff for number 14. Here's the 1-1. Takioka thought about going. He'll try the back pick from Mullen. No tag, but came very close. Robert Mullen thought he had a shot at a free out, and Takioka in a little bit of discomfort getting up. Taking a moment, cleaning out, dusting off the eyes. You can see in a little bit of visible discomfort. Great camera angle there from our first base camera. As the trainer who spoke pregame for the Brantford Red Sox home crowd is going to come out to check on him.
That was good on Mullen there to keep an eye on Ronnie Takioka because he's a big threat. I mean, like you said, 8 for 8 on stolen bases this year. I mean, they really have to pay attention to that. So to get up, get it to first in millimeters. I'm not saying millimeters, but said pretty close to getting him out there. So, I mean, they've really got to keep an eye on. He takes a pretty sizable lead again.
Pretty solid leadoff. And speaking of needing to avoid an out, Lucas Bateman, here's the 1-2 from Ortega. More movement from Takioka. That one chopped right towards the first base line. Should have the easy tag on first. Run down here, actually, for Takioka. He'll try to run back to first. If he can get around the tag, he's fine, but he's not. Tagged out is Rene Takioka, and that will bring the first inning to its conclusion as the Brantford Red Sox are held scoreless. 1 runner on base in Takioka, and the Welland Jackfish have a big first inning. Consistent base runners lead to 2 runs. They hold a 2-0 lead at the end of the first.
It wasn't a bad inning from the Red Sox. I mean, you would have liked them go a little bit further down in the order, as the Welland Jackfish did, almost running out their entire batting order. But to see them, that's an early hit for them. That's an early hit. They got on base. It's not many games this year where I see that the Red Sox are on base early. Most of the time it's taking them a couple innings. The other whoever they're playing, whether that be the Majors, the Barnstormers, or the Jackfish. I mean, they're getting on base early, getting runs in. I mean, Brantford, I know it's only a first base, but it's a sign of things to come. If they can just keep swinging, like you said, discipline on the plate, we can only expect good things to come out of that because it's only a matter of time before they come around second, get into third on a scoring position, and then bring it into home and get some runs in for them. Because not out of this. End of the first, nothing against the top team in the league. It's really not out of it just yet.
So looking at the path ahead as we get set for the top of the second here, Urban ready to take his second chances and hopefully get a little bit more early momentum in this inning than he had in the first. But the real storyline for this Brantford Red Sox team is going to be those home games, those good home runs in the next couple days. The next 4 of the next 5 at home for the Brantford Red Sox. And really to this point in the season, I think it's 66 to 70% of games they'll be playing here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. So I think if you're the Brantford Red Sox, you're taking a little bit of solace in having consistent situation, consistent playing at home, and really stopping some of those road trips because the Chatham Kent, the Barries, they can throw off your rhythm when it comes to, you know, trying to get your travel figured out, trying to get those little things outside of baseball. And Connor Irvin's had a whole week of rest, so hopefully he's benefited from a little bit of R&R. Now he comes up to face the number 7 hitter in the order for the Welland Jackfish. That's Ethan Hunt, the third baseman, as he watches that one go by. 4 strike is the scoreboard here live at Arnold Anderson. Just needs a quick resetting. Big swing and a miss there from Ethan Hunt on number 2. Irvin, he's working his way back in the zone, and he's finding pay dirt.
Favorable count 0-2. Early strikeout in the top of the second could be clinical.
That one had some good movement to a swing, and no, not even a swing. Incredible movement there to, you know, have Ethan Hunt for the count. He was watching that one halfway, was going to let it go, and just barely clipped the corner for Connor Irvin. Ended the first inning with a strike, starts off the second with another. Here's Brendan Hoope, the right fielder for the Welland Jackfish. One of the better hitting 9-hole hitters in the IBL. And 291 so far on the young 16 RBIs.
It's not too bad.
Big swing and a miss. Irvin doing a great job getting that velocity up there and that little bit of movement on that 2-seam fastball.
This is a great start to the second. He finished off the top of the first with a strikeout, comes in, strikeout, strike again. He's thrown 4 pitches, all strikes.
Incredible.
5 pitches.
Incredible.
5 for 5 on strikes and pitches this top of the second. I mean, it's a great start. If Brantford's going to get back into it, they need to take control of the game. They need to take control of the mound and the plate. And
just a little bit too far off, plate umpire Chris Stoico, but I think the big thing that I want to say under my breath, you don't want to say it too loudly, but the framing by Cassidy wanted to start off not just this game but this season. He does an incredible job at earning strikes, and he can cheat you some strikes in that bottom corner. As that one's up high, just out of the zone. Now 2-2 to Hoope. Next up in the order is going to be the top of the order once again for the Welland Jackfish. Jonah Weisner will make his second cuts here as he warms up on the batter's circle. From the 2-2, big swing and a miss by Hoope. 3 up, 3 down over the course of 2 innings for Connor Irvin. Number 20 is back.
That is it's so beneficial. That's the word I'm looking for. So beneficial for the Red Sox and Connor Irvin. I mean, coming back top of the order, but 2 outs, 2 strikeouts, mind you. That's if I'm going in there as a top of the order, I've got to know, like, I've got to give some respect to Connor Irvin. Obviously they do, but you have to understand he's hot right now as we speak.
So are we all here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. The temperature's up in the 30 to 32 degree range today, and that's going to be a storyline for these starting pitchers and fielders alike, is as your stamina starts to degrade, as you start to wear out, how do you continue to make those small plays? And fielding errors haven't been a huge concern for Brantford so far in this young season. Could be today with that hot beating sun, as potentially could be a reason Weisner will step off and take a quick time here down 0-1.
If Brantford can get out of this inning, like, unscathed, calm, confident, I think bottom of the second, I think they can really take a different story, and that's going.
Well hit ball into left field. Back to play it as Graham Tevitt will get through it. Will make the textbook catch. We were worried about the heat. Shouldn't have been on that one. That will end the top of the second with a little bit more urgency than the first. 2 strikeouts on the ledger for Connor Irvin, and that fly out to Tevitt to cap the inning off. Weisner, rare that you start the game off with an at-bat in consecutive innings, but Jonah Weisner has 2 attempts, 1 for 2 so far. As the Brantford Red Sox will get ready to go back on offense, and well, typically you'd like your more contact tool players to start off your inning, then throw the power guys in behind them. But we're putting our big boys, our big tall guys with the big bats up next. The 4, 5, 6 Ortega, Watt, Veyu. That is the power upside. That is where you're going to find home runs, where you're going to find extra base hits. Brantford Red Sox lineup, and they will be starting off the second inning here. Christian Ortega, he was our player to watch, and for good reason. He has been exceptional the last couple games, those big moments. He's a guy that seems to get hotter as the game goes on, and nowhere was that more obvious than in the 9th inning against Hamilton. That walk-off, not walk-off, but the game winner there in the 9th inning. And he's hitting 352 on the year. The big number that pops out at me, 23 RBIs, 5 home runs, leads the team. At the start of the year when he was still here, Tim Holick was looking like he was going to be the guy to carry that power upside for the Brantford Red Sox team. He left the organization. Since then, Ortega has taken over that mantle. And an 8 walk to 17 strikeout ratio for such a power guy, not bad. You can work with that. No, not bad at all. And I mean, you can have base hitters, you can have like all the tacticalness, but you need somebody that can just hit. Someone can hit, like, it's contact, it's going. And it's going into space, it's going into the gaps that are created in the outfield. So I know he's a bigger guy, but I mean he's been batting well. He's Tim Holick. I remember start of the year he played exceptionally well. Had to move on, going on to big things. So I mean, it's for him to take the lead of that it's pretty, as a fan, it's confident. It's nice to see that Brantford didn't just, oh, Tim Holick's gone, there's nothing we can do. No, Christian Ortega was able to say, no, it's okay. Give me the torch. It's my turn. Really impressed with what GM Jeff Lounsbury did there, and working that lineup with a couple early departures in the season. He's done well to find power once again through his transactions. Crazy movement there by Ortega. He'll find the zone on that one. An early strike to Ortega, and it was a pretty one at that.
Oh yeah, even from up here, we're still a little high up. We're not straight behind it, and you see the elevation and drop on that.
That one going to be sent high, popped up out towards the ever-dangerous first baseline parking lot. Those that were there last Sunday will remember the Jeep Grand Caravan, or the Dodge Grand Caravan, that had a hole put through its back windshield by a baseball, and then almost had one in the exact same location I see scarce parking today. It's like people are learning over the course of the year. As here comes the 0-2.
That's
that
a
one will
good
hit.
hit
Left field,
into
it'll
the
find its
gap.
way down. Ortega rounding first, heading for second. The big man with big legs, he can run, and he'll make his way to second. Finds the gap, just stays fair. And if that had carried a little more with the wind, that had a shot at his sixth HR of the year.
Exactly. Point you were talking about earlier, before the game. Not a lot of home runs hit here. I know there's some parks. I think it's the
Jack Park in Kitchener.
Yeah, Kitchener. It's
Absolute
so
bandbox.
easy to hit to home runs. I think there's been one here the entire year.
Two at home. One that I wasn't here for to kick the year
One
off.
I've seen the entire year. I think, was it against Kitchener? Might have.
My memory's failing me now.
I don't know, but from my memory, I've only seen one home run hit here all year. But Christian Ortega, talking about the gaps, hitting the gap into the left field or right field. My apologies.
Big swing and a miss here by Cassidy Watt. The back catch, one of the best in the entire IBL at his position defensively. That's why he's in consideration, you got to think, for the IBL All-Star game coming up in a couple weeks here in Hamilton. That guy catching right now, Robert Mullen, is almost assuredly going to be there with how great he's been on the long ball this year. But Cassidy Watt, runners in scoring position. He's a guy that can execute upon it. They watched that one go by. 4-1.
Exactly. If there's a time for me to see a second home run, now would be the time. Big hitter. Cassidy Watt only hitting 198 this year, 86 at bats, but 17 hits, 14 RBIs, 6 balls, 15 strikeouts.
That one will hit over the head
hitter.
of the second baseman. It'll find its way down to the right field line. Ortega, he's getting the green light from the go. Comes home, no throw. Christian Ortega opens the game up the way he ended it on Friday. Comes home for the first run of the day. The Brantford Red Sox are on the board.
That is perfect. It's a great hit. Gap between center field and left field there. Between Houpe and Morello. Perfect placement. And now the clutch man from Friday night, Jeremy Veyu. Runner on first. Who knows what he can do? He's a big guy. Yeah, I can see it from here. He's
athletic, though.
Yeah,
Cassie Watt, deceptively athletic on the base pass.
Exactly.
I will give him massive
So
credit.
you got a big guy that can hit and an athletic guy who can pop up pretty quick from catching. So
Jeremy Veyu, here he comes. He's a guy we were really hyped on, and we were high on at the start of the year. Maybe the numbers haven't quite been there, but that throw is going to go as close to you without a HBP as you can get. He'll stay in this count, but we'll go up 1-0 early.
hitting 256 in the year. Not
small
too
sample
shabby.
size, though. He's only 43 at-bats. We thought he would be the everyday catcher when we started off the year, and then Cassidy Watt just showed so much upside. So runner on first, 2-1 down, but a little bit of life here for the Brantford Red Sox offense we didn't see on the road against Welland. Jeremy Veyu will go up 2-0, and Brody Black, who's got a little bit of pop in that bat, more home runs than his build would indicate. He will be up next in the 7th spot.
Yeah, Brody Black, 59 at bats, 14 home runs on the year, so not too shabby.
Swing and a miss on the low side, a little bit in on the hands. 2-1 is the count now for Veyu, and Jeremy Veyu really, as in a way that I don't think we would have expected, is going to become kind of one of the veterans of this team offensively, because we've seen so much turnover for this Brantford Red Sox offense. Again, credit to Jeff Lounsbury, GM, for making those moves he did at the start of the year. A lot of those pieces like Takioka, those late additions, have worked gangbusters. As the 2-1 right down the middle of the plate, Ortega puts that one down Main Street for a 2-2, and Teo Ortega, again, he's done well, but I talked about it pregame, Brandon. His greatest strength is that strikeout to walk ratio, is pound in the center of the plate, and that's what's cost him so far. Is a lot of these Brantford hitters, the swing discipline's not always there, but boy howdy can they tie up a fastball.
Exactly. He's Christian oh my goodness, my bad. Teo Ortega, he's like getting it over the plate, but the Brantford hitters,
Right
I
back at
say
him.
that, and he's put it right into Ortega's feet. But as I was saying, he's putting it over the plate a lot, but Brantford getting good contact. They're having some decent batting discipline for to start the game, which I think is kind of playing into the point where you're not really seeing many strikeouts from Teo Ortega today. So far, at least. I don't want to speak too soon because 32-4 is ridiculous.
That's both runners off the base, as that was a double play, the caught first ball, and then right back to first base for the runner who had taken a lead. That's one of those unfortunate scenarios where a double play can really pop out of nowhere if your pitcher can make that catch, what she did. And now Teo Ortega will face Brody Black, the right fielder. Brody Black, remember that highlight catch from a few weeks ago? He's got great extension, great vertical out there in right field. He'll make some fun plays right at the fence, but he's also done pretty well with the bat. We talked about those home runs. I believe you said 14. 14 would be the league lead, so I'm going to get, I think that's RBIs.
Is it?
I believe we might be category over.
No, it's... Oh,
yeah,
home
14
runs.
hits,
Yeah,
3 home
14
runs.
is. My apologies.
It sounded high, but
I mean, he's still hit. He's still second on the team in home runs. So
that one, wild pitch.
In their hitting order.
2-1 count there now for Brody Black. Robert Mullins working his way towards 14. I believe he's got the league lead currently there. It's now currently sitting behind the plate there for Welland. 9 on the year, which for the IBL, you're not quite going to see MLB quite, level consistency.
You're going to see Aaron Judge-esque. That's a big swing, but no, you're not going to see massive record-breaking seasons like this. But I mean, it's still super impressive that the quality of players and the product that the IBL produces, but also the quality of product that we can retain.
Over the head of the starter, right to the second baseman. He'll make the easy play on that. Black almost legs it out as a big buster of wind kicks up here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. It's going to be a talking point here throughout the course of the night in addition to the heat. We're going to throw to a quick break. We'll see you in just a few moments here live from Arnold Anderson Stadium for the Brantford Red Sox. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Ronald.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
And welcome back to Arnold Anderson Stadium in Brantford, Ontario. It was the Brantford Red Sox take on the visiting Welland Jackfish. Top of the third, Gio Morello will make his second cuts today. Center fielder for the Jackfish walked in the first inning. Irvin's only walk of his start so far is that one. Well hit, catches the barrel on the edge as it'll find its way out to Palos. Looked off the bat like it would get more range, but as we tend to see a lot here at Arnold Anderson this year, balls just not carry in the way that the contact would suggest. That one is an easy fly.
Exactly. It's a good start for the inning. Good start of the inning. For the Red Sox, Ethan Palos, easy catch, but I've noticed it. Yeah, you said it pretty well. They carry for a few seconds and then they just die in the air. They just stop and they're just dropping to the outfielders pretty easily.
Strong wind coming into the media booth up here at Arnold Anderson. You can really feel the wind heading back towards the plate from the mound. So balls are going to have a little bit of wind resistance in a way that isn't going to benefit this Welland offense. Pierre Boucher, the left fielder, had that sacrifice single that later led to a run in the first inning, and that one, great movement both vertically and horizontally. Irvin's now up 0-2 here against Boucher, and he had trouble with the top of the lineup in the first. Has gotten off to a little bit more success pitching to contact the second time through as that one chopped foul. 3 straight strikeouts between the end of the first, top of the second for Connor Irvin, and since then it's been back-to-back flyouts on relatively manageable balls to catch. So Irvin finding his groove once again. Now the 0-2. That one sent right past Jeremy Veilleux at first. No real chance to get the glove on that one. And a stand-up single, his second of the day for Pierre Boucher.
That wasn't almost caught by Jeremy Veilleux over at first base there. If he catches that, that's one of the very many highlight reels we've seen here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. So, I mean, still only a runner on first. I mean, Connor Irvin looks like he settled in very comfortably into this game.
He's finding the location better, and I think his big thing this year has been his confidence in his secondary pitches. You know, he's always been good with that fastball. We know he's got a little bit of velocity, especially at a high level here in the IBL. As there it is, that nice changeup, a little bit of curve on it, just enough to fool batters, but he releases it from that same arm angle he does the two-seam and four-seam fastball. So just if you can fool batters, they don't know what's coming. That's huge. Is that one going to be well hit? The same spot as the last one. Paulos and Black up to field it. Black will call for it, will make the easy catch, and a third consecutive easy fly out. Doing a great job pitching to contact, but balls that these hitters for Welland start catching to enough to put it over the fence out in the field.
Exactly. I get second straight inning, confident, calm start from the Red Sox. I mean, well, what's his third at bat? They had 2 outs, only a runner on first. Almost got picked off there, so got to keep an eye on that. Cassidy will be able to pop quickly and get it over to Jeremy Veilleux if need be, because he is active on the plate. He's quick on it. Sometimes I don't even notice he's doing something, and by the time there's it, runner's out.
Yeah, loves a back pick there defensively, does Cassidy Watt. That's Pierre Boucher there on first base after that single. He's 2 for 3 this year on stolen bases, so a little bit of a threat, definitely some speed, the same way he utilizes it defensively at the left field position. That one low in the dirt for ball 1 of the count. This up to bat now is Grayson Barrett for the second time today. He had that sack single in the first inning. 6-1 now. The deficit for the Brantford Red Sox is Brendan Luther. Rare you see a push home run. In fact, the first I've seen at Arnold Anderson, that one caught the barrel and was a no-doubter for Brody Black. He's got a chance at those balls that just find their way over the fence. He's robbed a couple home runs this year, but Brody Black, he'd have to be 15 feet tall to make that catch. What a swing by Brendan Luther.
Exactly, what a swing. I was hopefully our audio situation is sorted out, but what a hit. Second home run I've seen here. I mean, oh my, that's another great contact, not the right way, but like we said, if you want, it's going to be hard today with the wind coming onto the plate, into the booth behind plate here. So if you want to get a home run, you got it. It's going to have to probably be to one of the corners. We saw him hitting it over to our left and right field constantly. A few hits there from Brantford and Welland. Let's try the other side. First time lucky, over the fence.
Typically that left field maple tree is the target for these hitters here at Arnold Anderson. That one, though, was pushed, and that one going to be chopped. Fair ball. Out to play it is the pitcher. Irvin will get it to first. Says he has it. Yes, he does. Veyu will get the call there. Holds on, and he'll end the inning. A pitch or an at-bat too late. That big home run, that 3-run bag by Brendan Luther. What a hit, what a performance. And I think the big thing to note is that first inning strikeout. He was swinging for the fences on every single one. You'll see the replay here. But really going for every single pitch. Luther was trying to time up Irvin in that first at-bat. He takes the strikeout and then comes back the next one, knows he's timed it up, and did find Pater. You saw there that nice play by Ben. Keeping his foot on the bag. Again, doesn't often start up first, but when these catchers are defensive masterminds, really, no matter where they play defensively. As a catcher, you have to understand the dynamics of the infield, the culture of defense so well to play the position. So when you rotate, typically, catchers tend to do pretty well for themselves. Same with Andrew Savage, who doesn't get the start today, but Savage, new face to the team, caught a couple games, and then was stellar at third base defense.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So 6-1 now the deficit for the Brantford Red Sox as the Welland Jackfish. Consistent offense has led to 2 runs of big scoring. And back on the mound comes Teo Ortega. As we're almost through the order here for the Brantford Red Sox, the Welland Jackfish have almost gone back around twice, but we still have yet to see our shortstop for the Brantford Red Sox, Lucas Lefebvre, getting his first AB of the day. He'll start off this next inning with Graham Tebbett, in front of him. The tall, rangy left fielder. It's going to be our first. So Tebbett, Lefebvre, and Paulos, your 3 up in the order for the Brantford Red Sox. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, we have an exciting doubleheader weekend of baseball a week from now. It's been have been jumping up from the bottom. Started off slow this year. Now 6 consecutive wins for that Barrie club. We'll play them on Friday at 7:30 here at Arnold Anderson. And we got Hamilton in a rematch of Friday night's action. That's live here at Brantford. It's Arnold Anderson Stadium. That's going to be back on Rogers TV a week from today on Sunday. But here's Graham Tebbett, one of the taller gentlemen on the team. Good speed for his height. Another nice pitch there. Good velocity here early in this at-bat for Ortega. And we kind of alluded to, the potential for getting worn out, the potential for stamina to go away from these hitters, and especially the outfielders here as this very hot 32-degree weather starts to wear on them. That one goes by again. Swung strike. 1-2 now to Graham Tebbett. Tebbett hitting 185 on the year, the lowest of any hitter in today's game, but
So far, so good.
Has done relatively well in the field. He's providing value in other places, and he's been a pinch-hitting bat on quite a few occasions this season. Will be struck out by Ortega on that one, though. Ortega picks up his 3rd of the young contest. Lucas Lefebvre, here's the shortstop that subbed in a couple games ago. Remember, Max Schmarter was more or less the everyday shortstop for this Brantford Red Sox team. One of the most electric defensive gloves at the shortstop position in all the IBL. Just didn't have the hitting upside. Couldn't quite justify it with the bat. And that meant he got subbed a couple games back, and Lucas Lefebvre has been the everyday shortstop since. Watches that one go by for ball 1.
The Hamilton broadcast doesn't have any no video. He only has sound, no video.
So Lefebvre, 292 here in the young season. That one I think is going to say caught him. Just barely catches the arm for the first hit by pitch of the day. I think Robert Bowen taking exception. Now get a bit of a pat, a little bit more lighthearted than it seemed at first. So the free walk down to first base. Lucas Lefebvre finding his value, gets his first walk of the young season. Was 8 strikeouts to no walks prior to that, AB.
Ethan Paul is hitting just under 300 on the year. 71 at-bats, 21 hits. So big sample size. Not a whole ton of contact, but 13 strikeouts to 9 walks. I mean,
pretty solid ratio.
Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. For this Brantford team, it's pretty solid.
Lefebvre now on first. First pitch to Palos. Well wide off the zone, 1-1.
Rennie Takioka in the box.
Palos here. Takioka will be on the batting circle.
Batting circle, yeah. You know what I meant.
That one low into the dirt for Palos. Now 2-0, and Palos does a good job with these early ABs. He really makes pitchers work for it at the start of games. I think it's part of why he is so valuable in the first inning. But particularly a lot of his hits come later in games. He's good at catching up to pitchers, really learning their stuff as he sees them for a second and a third time. Here's the 2-0. Well off the plate. Ortega just can't quite find that spot on the outside, but he's really trying to test the corners in a way he wasn't early on in this contest.
Exactly. I think he's learned that like he can stay at that strikeout zone confidently, but Brantford's getting good contact, so he's learning and he's understanding that like he's got to hit the corner and start picking it, which he does right there with the count 3-1. Yeah.
3-1. Yeah, Chris Stoico, I think, giving him a pretty favorable call there. That one looked about as wide as the others, but it will just find the edge of the plate. Keeps it alive. 3-1 now. Ortega to Palos. That one well struck right towards the second baseman. He'll make the play to 2. He'll make it to 1. Double play. The Welland Jackfish execute with 1 out to end the inning, and I really am impressed with the Welland Jackfish, and they have a similar asset to what we talked about last week, Brian and I, about Kitchener and about guys like Jordan Mondoa, Yosvani Penalves, some of their veteran defenders who have such a consistent ability to not only make those defensive plays, but make them without unnecessary urgency. They make them like they made them a bazillion times. And the Welland Jackfish, they had a couple smart plays earlier where they let the sacrifice go by. They didn't bother with the double. Now they go for the double play. They're making easy throws, and we saw that on Thursday as well. That's something I hope the Red Sox, as good as we've been able to prevent errors really all season, or at least comparatively to the rest of the league's level. But I just want to see those easy plays. Once guys build their confidence in the field, trust your instinct. Don't need to hurry it. Don't need to go unnecessarily quick to force it out. And as Irvin goes back on the mound for his 4th inning of work, 6 runs in the ledger already. Don't see anybody warming up yet, but Boomer's on the field. We got the kids for the floaty race out there on the third base line.
This is going to be super important for Irvin. He's really got to settle back in here, and he's got to slow it back down. I know with the big grand slam, was it in
3-run home run.
3-run home run. So 3-run home run in the top of the third there. I mean, he's got to slow it down there. He's really got to take control back. He had control. End of the first into the second, he had so much control of the mound. He had to control that plate comfortably. So I know it's 6-1, but he's just got to slow it down. Keep it simple, in my opinion. As an athlete, you got to keep it simple. You mentioned Welland. They're confident. They're keeping it simple. They're not trying to make flashy plays. They'll look like they've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So keep it simple, keep it smart, and it will turn out. You're not gonna look great, but at this rate, when it comes to Brantford, it doesn't matter how you do it. They have to get wins on the board. They have to start catching Hamilton. They have to start catching Kitchener. And this is a perfect test to see what they can do.
Well, once again, I want to thank my awesome crew here at Rogers TV and some of our usual favorites here from the Brantford Red Sox broadcast. We thank everybody for coming out today, making the busy trip on a Sunday, a very warm Sunday at that. I hope all your ACs are working. My black leather seats in my SUV are going to be absolutely cooked by the end of this game, but it's worth it for some IBL baseball. First pitch, first swing and a miss for Brandon Hoope. Down 0-1 in his second AB of the day. Struck out in the second inning. Like you said there, Brandon, Irvin, 4th inning of work. Looking to find any sort of momentum there as that one low and in the dirt for ball number 1. And I think that's really the thing that is got to be in the back of the mind of all these Brantford hitters is, the bullpen's been a concern. You trust your guys, but you really want to go deep in these games to give your team a realistic opportunity, especially in order to kind of preserve relievers. Not so much of a problem today, because luckily we don't have weekday games this week. The last couple weeks we've had games Tuesdays, Wednesdays, some double headers here and there. You save your relievers. Don't have to worry about that today, as that one chopped straight at Lefebvre. Should be an easy play. Gets him. That came off the bag, they'll say. I think Jeremy Veilleux pointed himself. I think he took credit on that one, but that throw was a little high. I think a little bit has to go on both those fielders there. And we talked about it, Brandon. The Welland Jackfish, they're a confident 16-6 ball club. You can't give them easy opportunities like that.
Absolutely not. When you're giving a team that's top of the league that was able to beat you 9-3 on Thursday night with less hits than you, and you're giving them easy plays that they've made countless times, they're going to take advantage of that. You see it when it comes to the major leagues. Like the best teams, like when you make a little mistake, you think, it's not that big of a mistake, but the best teams are going to take advantage of it, and they know exactly what they need to do to get the full potential of that. With now a runner on base, who knows what can happen. This could propel into something different, or this could be a double play. So Brantford's really got to slow it down, keep it calm, and keep it simple, in my opinion.
First batter of the day to face Urban for a 3rd time. This is Jonah Wisner, the second baseman, back up for his 3rd AB of the day. Had a single in the first, flew out in the second, and now he's got a runner on first base. We saw that replay just a few moments ago. I think easily just wide to the right of the first baseman there on the throw from Lefebvre. That one's going to go by for ball 3 as Irvin once again finds himself in a pitcher's count, and that was actually ball 4. Came in quick succession, hard to keep up with, and Wisner will take the 4-ball walk to first base. You got to think potentially mound visit coming soon. And starting to see some action here in the bullpen. Urban's day maybe a little more brief than he was hoping.
It's the little things. We've been saying Brantford, what separates Brantford. Still a good team. The IBL is a good league. They're good players. It's a good team, but it separates good from great. That's the difference, and it's the little things. Now you've got runners on first and second, top second in the order.
But here, down under the pitcher, Urban, really stalled on that one. Does get the out at first, but I think he had that indecision there. That's where you start to see that confidence go away. Maybe he had a shot at the double play out. He trusted his gut, but makes the safe play to first. He'll keep himself in control. He'll be the one to determine the rest of the inning. Now we'll do so with runners on second and third on the sac bunt by Morello.
You can see it, Irvin. There's a chance to make the double play, but with everything that's happened, 3-run home run, little bit of a shaky fielding play for that first hit of the inning. He's looking a little off, and he's just wanted, let me just get one out rather than just letting his intuition take the better of him. You may not have momentum, but you just gotta do what you think is best. You just gotta be confident. Just do what your body's telling you to do.
That ball loaded in the dirt after a great first pitch strike there from Irvin. Had that awesome curve with a really top to bottom zone movement. Was up above the zone right as the swing decision was made, and by the time the swing was made, it was well around his knees. Here's the 1-1. That one a little bit wide, a little bit low. I'm going to go back in the ball column for Connor Irvin. Remember, runners on second and third. This is Pierre Boucher for the 3rd time today. Sac single and a regular single in the 3rd. The 1-1. That one low into the dirt once again. Again, Cassidy Watt does a great job blocking. Make sure those wild pitches never get by him, but he's had to work through a lot of those early in today's game. 2-1. Now the count for Boucher. The ever dangerous Robert Mullen, league leader in home runs, now in the on deck circle for the Jackfish. The 2-1. Good movement yet again. 3-1 or 4-1, just to confirm the scoreboard a little bit behind on that one. 4-1, fourth ball for Boucher, 4th walk for Irvin in this contest. And here comes the mound visit. Cassidy Watt going to go have a word with the starter.
I think it's just it doesn't look too serious. I think it's just looking to calm him down. It's been shaky. He's like you saw, he took control at the bottom of the first or top of the end of the first and end of the start of the second, like that era, like he ended the first with a strikeout, started the second with a strikeout. I mean, he was looking confident there, but after that 3-run home run, last inning, he's looking a little bit off, not himself. So I think Cassie Watt, who's a great player, like I don't see many wild pitches, he's looking to calm him down and say, do what you do best, do what you're comfortable with, and you know what to do. Don't be doing things that are way out of your range to try to overcompensate for any sort of other things that have happened previously in the game.
Bad news, though, for Connor is the guy that you want to have that reset right before. The guy that you don't want to see in the batter's box in this moment is Robert Mullen, if you're having questions of confidence. Again, one of the best hitters in the league. Undoubtedly the best long ball threat, at least that's what the numbers say early in this IBL season. That one by for ball one. And Mullen is the kind of guy that if you put yourself in a hitter's count, if you force yourself as a pitcher to throw strikes, Mullen is going to time you up and make you pay. As the bases are loaded here at Arnold Anderson, that one chopped is going to go foul. Bit of a stumble there by Chris Ortega. Had an awkward hop to try to catch up to that one. I was worried, a little bit worried he may have had some discomfort in his lower leg. He'll stay up, he's fine. And Robert Mullen will settle back in now in a 1-1 situation. The 1-1 just barely low, and Chris Stoico, home plate umpire, is starting to get more consistent about that bottom of the zone. That is that is hitter's advantage, bottom of the zone. Pitchers having a rough time putting strikes below the knees. That one, kind of a weird half chop swing as that one sent directly out to the parking lot in the first base line. Weird choke up, actually I think meant to choke up on that one to hold back. Still found contact with it. And Mullen was held relatively in check the other day. Didn't have a hit, but did have an RBI and a run on a walk. So Robert Mullen's team behind him doing him some help there to get him on the ledger. Didn't hit well on Thursday, though. That one sent out towards right field. Black trying to track it down. Goes wide. Never had a shot at staying fair, but Brody Black ranging out to the outfield. Might have had a shot at it. And again, we talk about it. We used to remember that play a couple weeks ago, Brandon. When he gets up to that right field fence, any ball within about 4 feet vertical has a shot to be brought down by Brody Black. He's got great range as an outfielder, and he carries through on some of those like foul balls trying to make a catch. I think a lot of right fielders wouldn't even try. Oh yeah, no, like you said, I'm referencing the play where he got right close, right up to that fence. I mean, he's not quitting on any play, which is what you like to see from your outfielders there on the baseball diamond. I mean, he's ball low, 3-2, now full count here. Irvin to Mullen. You like to see that they just don't quit on a play, because if they start quitting, like we said, Brody Black jumping over that fence. I mean, like if he's not running, if he doesn't try for that, that's gone. So he's trying and keeps going, and it's bound to happen. Low and in the dirt, the walk, home a run. Connor Irvin's 5th ball of the base on balls of the day will score home Hoope. He'll grab his bat and he'll head back to the bench as he's extended the Welland lead to 7-1. Looks to be another mound visit. And that'll be a pitching substitution, as there comes the new face in relief here for the Red Sox. We'll get you an ID when we have it. From the mound visit, just a few pitches ago, like he looked a couple pitches like he was just doing his thing, and then it looked like he was trying to overcompensate again for what happened. So, in all honesty, though, not a bad outing. Not what you want to. Not as if you're Connor Irvin, you don't want this to happen. You don't want to see that. But there's still some positive points. He's still striking out and had a good stretch of play there at the end of the first and start of the second against the best team in the IBL, the Welland Jackfish. So take what you can from this game. Take any positives you can and roll off your positives rather than looking at the rest of the negatives. Well, that's one of the names I was hoping to see on the sheet today. One of our better relievers on this team. I believe that should be Colby Klepper taking his first swipes off the mound. Klepper's been steadfast this year. Ever since we brought him in middle of the season, believe South Dakota State University. He came via the United States. He has been exceptional. He's a really steadfast arm, really interesting release point. He's got one of those wider releases that I think can get stale. I think it's a tool in the arsenal that gets devalued the longer you get faced as a reliever. If guys come back around on Klepper, they've had success in his second AB. But Colby Klepper's a guy that first time you face him is a nice change up from a guy like Urban. They just have different approaches. And I think if you want to kind of throw off hitters, especially guys that have already hit it 3 times in this contest, Colby Klepper's a good guy to face him and a good guy to at least give the Brantford offense an opportunity to get back into this one.
Exactly. I think he needs to start off though doing what he does best. He just needs to he needs to throw those he needs to throw the pitches he throws best. He can't be going super out of his box and looking for a unique thing that he hasn't been trying too much. I think keep it simple, because Welland's is expecting. Welland's been seeing Connor Irvin quite a bit already, and we're only at the top of the 4th. They've been through the order 3 or 4 times. So just get up early, get a couple strikes in, kind of solidify your zone for the batters, and then from there, make sure they know, and then start taking control. Pick your corners, get a nice drop on it, and just start to get them off their game, because I think Brantford, it's 7-1, but in all reality, think about it. Welland scored at least three runs in an inning, scored another one this one. It's very doable for Brantford to just 1 inning. There are only 2 runs out, 3 runs out, and that's all it takes. So,
Colby Klepper taking a moment here. I think trying to recenter himself. Definitely some heat, and definitely going to be something that affects these pitchers as we were predicting pre-game. I don't know if that was potentially the story with Irvin. I know he's come out in 4 innings, but probably didn't have quite enough time to really feel the heat there. Good show of support from the Welland Road fans that sitting out there in that first baseline grandstand. They showed support here for Grayson Barrett, who will be Klepper's first opponent of the day. Starts off hot. Strikeout nice and low there for strike 1. So Barrett will lead off the top of the, will continue here in this section of the lineup. Will be the top of the order that Klepper has faced so far. Remember, he had that sac single in the first, and that big extra bases double. Add that to his ledger. Single up the middle, out of the range of Lefebvre. 1 run will score. That's Weisner. Another comes in. No, the ball goes wide. The runner will stay on second. Almost gave up a triple, as a bit of a miscommunication with Jeremy Veilleux trying to cut off from the infield. Grayson Barrett, he's been clutch today. Back-to-back innings with a hit. This time it's a 2 RBI single. So in was Weisner, and behind him was Boucher. Both will score to make the lead 9-1 by way of the Welland Jackfish. Mateo Porcelato, our player to watch. He walked in the first inning, then he walked in the 3rd inning. So we'll see what we see from him his 4th time through the order.
4th time through, new pitcher though. So I think he's got to figure him out again.
You see that very, very back turned to the batter's starting point in Colby Klepper's release style. Really has his back and then gets good rotation. Really gets good shoulder movement there through that wide arm pitch. But I think the big fear then is a lot of his movement stuff comes from such a wide point that it has good movement up to the plate, but it can be hard to aim. He's a guy that struggled a little bit with location here and there this year. Finds himself now down 1-0 against Porcelato. Evens it up at 1-1, gets the straight call on the outside.
That's a good pick. He is a good pick of the corner, pick of the side. It was out there. It is out of Porcelato's reach. So, and the way he comes around, it looks like he releases it not early, but little early.
That one did not find the zone. Watt almost fell over trying to get in front of that one. Makes the nice catch though. It'll be 2-1 here, and I think the big other thing we have to mention, I kind of alluded to it earlier, the value of Cassidy Watt having pitched with certain guys throughout the course of the year. I think we've also committed more to our relievers. We're having the same crop of relief pitchers coming through, which is giving them experience working with Watt. Cassidy Watt's done pretty much all his pitch calling this year, and you kind of get more confidence in that regard from your pitchers. If you play with them multiple times, that wild pitch goes by, runners will advance. Cassidy Watt was quick, but couldn't quite get there in time to hold the runners, so first and second, they'll now advance to second and third. And Colby Klepper's hard job when he came in gets even harder as the runners advance on the wild pitch. 3-1 now the count to Porcelato, our player to watch. He's got 2 walks on the day, could be 3. Rare you see 3 walks in 4 innings, but Number 10 hitting 426 on the air. They know he's a threat. That's why they pitch around him. No, that one is a strikeout. Portulato was getting ready to throw the bat away. Full count comes up in a hurry. This could be Klepper's first punch out of the day.
Lucky he didn't throw that bat there. He held on a little bit. So.
Usually take a little bit of exception to overconfident, incorrect walk-offs. That one chopped off towards the third base line. Easily fell.
Into a backyard. I think this at bat, and if he can get this strike, it's super important for Klepper's game moving forward, and especially the rest of the inning and the rest of the game. I think it's super important. If he gets this, he's calm. He's already got a strikeout. He can roll into this game.
Full count, 1 out. Portulato facing Klepper. That one well struck right at the second baseman. Bateman won't get the glove on it. By to Palos. Palos misplays it. 2 runs will score. 2 different fielders are going to wish they had that one back. First it was Bateman, just missed the glove by inches, and then it was Palos who had a bit of a misplay on it. Portulato, walk, and a 2 RBI single.
Got Mullen coming in and Grayson Barrett coming in to score runs 11-1. I think Brantford just needs. I know it's 11-1. It looks bad, but I think Brantford just needs to slow it down, calm it down, relax.
You see the replay here. Bateman came close to getting the glove on it, but there's that misplay by Palos. Palos just that little bobble on the ball. Likely didn't make a difference. I think the runner at third was coming home either way, but that stuff, if you're the management here at Brantford Red Sox, you just don't want to see. You want to see by this point in the season guys getting more comfortable, and again, that confidence in the field I talked about, you don't have that until your fielding percentage is where it deserves to be. I believe if they shouldn't chalk it up, but if they do, that would be Palos' first recorded fielding error of the season. Second one in the zone. Brendan Luther had that 3-run homer in the third inning, but luckily Colby Klepper is getting himself in a favorable count early in this AB. Here's the 0-2. Deals. Low and in the dirt, off the head of the umpire. Weird bounce as the runner will advance. Cassidy Watt again. He does his good college try. He does his best to go back and keep those balls reasonably in play, but another free bag given up. This time it's going to be Portulato advancing to second. 1-2 still the count. Brendan Luther, remember he homered in that third inning, 3-run shot. Ethan Hunt next up.
Really catapulted the Jackfish offense there. That 3-run home run really just settled them in.
Ooh. That's a moral defeat for the Brantford Red Sox. Once you give up a big back-breaking home run like that, go down 6 in the early phases, that was the one that either lights a fire under your offense or can be a little bit disheartening. The count now 2-2 to Brendan Luther. Could be the first strikeout for Klepper. That one wide off the plate. Full count now. Klepper against Luther. So here's Klepper, the full count.
No, we went up by 17 to Chad Kenzie, played the full.
And that one's low. It took a moment. Got the call. Home plate umpire Chris Stoiko says that's another one in the ledger for these Brantford Red Sox pitchers in this one. 4th walk of the 4th inning. 4 RBIs allowed, 4 walks. 4s all around here in the top of the 4th.
I think it's been a common thing. I think I know the walks have been just really been morally demoralizing for the Red Sox. I think it's with allowing 4 walks in 1 inning on top of the rest of them that have been allowed throughout the game. I think it's been evident.
That one high, called ball, 1-0 is the count. And I think the goal now, if you're the Welland Jackfish, if you want a fun little achievement to shoot for, try to beat the current season high IBL largest margin of victory, which is held by, who knows, your Brantford Red Sox. 25-3 early this week. That score on Tuesday, the highest scoring win by any team in the league this year. So if Brantford can hold the lead to, or can hold the Jackfish to less than 25 runs, they still got a feather in their cap for the rest of the year. 2-0 now the count from Klepper. Ethan Hunt here, the third baseman, 0 for 2 today. Allen chops, stays fair. Nice play on the glove by Ortega. Gets it up, gets the catch. Over to first, makes the play. Chris Ortega, not the everyday third baseman for this defensive lineup, but he'll make a big play there when he was needed most.
That was a calm play. That was calm. It wasn't too complicated. It's grab it, get it to first. Not much else to do. It's a pretty simple play, but I mean, if you're going to keep this game at as tight as you physically can, I think it's important to get the smart plays, get the easy plays under control first, and just work on yourself, work on that as well, rather than going for all these complicated jump and double plays. Oh my.
Wild pitch. That one will go wide. Here comes a run. Watt once again will make the nice catch, but not quick enough. Another run scores. 12-1 now the deficit, as the runner will advance here to third. And Brendan Hoope, who's up for the second time here in the fourth inning. Strikeout and an error are his ledger. He'll let that one go by for the wild pitch and ball one.
Portoletto coming in to score the 12th run for the Jackfish.
Let's watch a replay there. Again, did a pretty good job trying to catch up to it from Watt, but again, that's what I've been saying about Klepper's release. Wide off the outside of the plate, batter's right. He can sometimes miss his spot. That time missed it bigger than even he would expect. 1-1 is now the count. Klepper against Hoope. Runner on third. That one finally finds the zone, gets himself back in a potential strikeout situation. 1-2, 2 outs is the count.
That was a good pick. That was a good corner. That was really good from up here. I think that's as far as he could go over without getting that called a ball.
Could end the top of the fourth. That one well struck, very well struck out to Tebbett, makes the play on it, ranges it well. Good reaction time from the left fielder to get right underneath that one. Nice barrel, good contact there by Hoope, but he'll remain 0 for 2 on the day. And that'll finally end the top of the fourth inning, Brandon, and one that both of us and the Brantford Red Sox wish hadn't got on quite that long.
It is what it is. It's an unfortunate back-to-back innings, just really not going the Red Sox way. Top of the third, 3-run home run, top of the fourth, 4 walks, resulting in runs, couple RBIs. I mean, there's only so much you can do about it now. But I think the Red Sox, it's not an inning you would have wished, but I think they just get it out of their head, move on. You're hitting now. It's 12-1. People, in the nicest way possible, people aren't expecting much because, it's 12-1, game's over.
Right.
So, and Welland's going to see this and go, it's 12-1. It's another game. We're top of the league. So I think they just need to just go out and be themselves. Have fun. Don't be getting caught up in this and being all upset and in a bad mood about a 12-1 game. There's still 5 innings, but you're hitting plus 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 to play. So go out, have fun, enjoy yourself, and just don't let the moment and whatever's going on dictate that. Because I think if they go out and they slow it down, calm down, and just stop stressing, and I know it's easier said than done, but stop stressing and just go with the flow. I think they'll see a little bit more success on the plate today in the box.
Well, it's a big Sunday of IBL Baseball. We are one of 4 contests in today's action, as we often tend to be here in Brantford. We often get the early start. We started at 2 p.m. at 2:05 in Hamilton, live from the location of the All-Star Game. Don't forget the IBL All-Star Game happening on July 20th. I believe All-Star voting closes tomorrow. So if you haven't yet, get out there and go to the IBL website, vote for your favorite players, whether they be Brantford or not. Although, maybe throw a vote the way of the Brantford Red Sox. Maybe at least get Chris Ortega, a couple of our good starters. Throw some guys in the All-Star Game there. So they're playing on July 20th in Hamilton. But that game in Hamilton, London and Hamilton, the Cardinals at home in that contest. Then they're up 6-0 in the first inning. The first inning still going, so must have been a later start time than I thought. But the London Majors, second in the league behind the Welland Jackfish. The Jackfish finding success. London so far in that one, not so much. 5 o'clock, Kitchener is at home against Toronto. That game will probably just be ending by the conclusion of this contest. And the Very Bay Cats host the Guelph Royals. 7:05 is the start time for that one. So if you're looking for some more IBL baseball at the conclusion of tonight's game, go check that contest out later. Here's Ren Takioka to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. Well, Brandon, we need a little bit of momentum. We just need our hitters to start getting on base, to start bringing it back for the Brantford Red Sox, and there's nobody I'd rather have up to the plate in that regard than Rene Takioka.
Exactly. There isn't a time where I look at him and his stats, it just doesn't. It always looks like he's having fun.
And he always likes to try these bunts. Early counts. That one is it's going to be a fake bunt that will go down, I believe, as a strike. And that's something that we talked about with Brian Helley. He's not a huge fan of the faking, showing bunt Then taking a swing attempt at it. That one will go by for a called strike. Now down 0-2, and that is something I vaguely agree, but I think if you're Takioka, you just want to get on base. You're a threat with your legs. Throw off Ortega a little bit, because Tio Ortega has been comfortable. Not anymore.
Perfect.
Over the head of the second baseman. Nice little piece of hitting there by Rene Takioka. His second hit of the day. There's only 2 hitters in this game with hits overall. One's Takioka, who's got 2 singles, and the other's Christian Ortega with a double. So, I would say the guys that we're expecting big performances from today, they're executing so far. It's going to be down to this bottom of the order where we're coming up too soon to try to work with these top guys doing top guy things.
Exactly. You need to speak more about hitting, because you spoke that into existence. Get on base.
It's true.
Set it straight away into that pocket.
That one is going to be popped up in the air. Chance for a play at first base. First base manager will move. He'll get the catch. He'll make that one relatively easily. Grayson Barrett doing a good job to track that one down in the sun.
It's unlucky for Lucas Bateman.
Quick pop-up out for Bateman. But here comes Christian Ortega. Had that double last time he was up to the plate back in the second inning. A correction, 3 guys have hits today. Don't forget Cassidy Watts got the only RBI of the day as he singled home Christian Ortega. As Ortega really legged out that run, the only base runner to score so far today. He's back, and he was our player to watch for good reason. If anybody's going to find a little bit of pop in that bat, the same way that we saw from Brendan Luther, he is the guy. Movement from Takioka, strike down the middle of the plate. And Takioka's a guy that often, I know we talk about leadoffs in the context of steals, and it wouldn't be the worst time in the world to try a quick steal attempt just to throw off Ortega, but it also helps with those hits. You get a couple extra bags out of it. If you can get a real good leadoff on first, Takioka, one of the best on the team at that, as that one sent foul.
He's a smaller guy, Takioka is. You can look at the first base coach who had a shot there. I don't know the comparison, but he's considerably shorter, which I think, from personally not being super tall, it does pertain to your speed. Your legs move a little bit quicker. They're close to the ground, so I think it does play a big part. And I don't know what it is, just sometimes short people, I've been told it's just like the way they run it, just like they move so much quicker, so it looks like they're going faster, so it could throw off Ortega in a sense of they could just throw him off.
In the defense of Takioka, today's first base manager for the Brantford Red Sox is 6'9" starting pitcher Nikolai Arbach. So, yeah, I'm pretty tall. I like to think I'm a bit of a professional with these things, and I can say when I walk past Nikolai Arbach, I don't want to say emasculating is the word, but boy howdy, I see what some other people feel. It's pretty wild. Sat down as Christian Ortega, swing and a miss there for strikeout number 3 on the day for these Welland pitchers. Hasn't been their suit really all season. They got good strikeout to walk ratios, but they don't necessarily strike out batters in bunches, but they really don't need to. When you pitch to contact as well as Ortega's done today, is really nothing that has been up in the air besides, I guess, that Takioka single and that Ortega double. That one popped up as well. This time, no attempt on the play from Grayson Barrett. 0-1.
He is 6'9". That is
6'9".
That is a big guy. That is a very, very large.
He's 185 though. Very small, very slim build.
But he's got he's so big. He's lanky. He's got a long windup. So to be fair, if
swing and a miss for strike 2.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's more batters and you think say his lankiness throws me off, because it's just his arms his arms are so long, he's got such a wide wingspan that it comes so far out and then it just comes all the way back in again.
Also, the striking resemblance to Slender Man can scare people that grew up in the mid 2000s.
A little bit.
Cassidy Watt here, 0-2, 2 outs, could end the inning. Watt would love an opportunity to at least get Takioka's legs moving. Started the inning off with that great single. Hasn't really got much support behind him. Takioka hit and run. He'll go. He'll get around. Perfect timing on the run from Takioka as Watt puts it through the gap. Watt on first. Takioka gets the stop sign. Runners on the corners for the Brantford Red Sox. And Cassidy Watt's 2 for 2. A guy that hits around the Mendoza line about 200. Catchers aren't usually expected to hit for great average, but he's one of the few guys doing so today. Second single.
Yeah, exactly. And you say you not have a good average. You might not have the best average, but that was almost a perfectly placed hit, right in between second base there. And the infielder there, a nice little gap there, put it right through there beautifully. So, all credit to him. It gets behind the ball when he's catching. Got behind the ball with his bat there. Gets Rene Takioka on third, which could, get a run in, get something going for the Red Sox.
Yeah, that was the Rene Takioka honorary blooper to right field. That's the spot he's controlled really all season. Really good with those push hits, whereas most hitters here, especially the power guys, tend to pull towards that maple tree in left field. Here's Jeremy Veilleux back for the second time today, I should say. Grounded into a double play in the second inning. That one chopped into that Takioka spot. There it is again. Blooper will score a run. Veilleux with the RBI single. The run will come home. The second baseman will go retrieve it, but Wisner can't get the throw in time. 12-2 now the margin.
You know what I've noticed throughout this game? That side of the field, the 3-run home run went over there.
Right.
I think Cassie Watts RBI went over there. Takioka's went over there. Like they all over by the larger fence into the backyards there. Pretty much all, but there's that one miscommunication. But everything's been caught over there. That's been the way to go pretty much this entire game, unless Brody Black's out there.
Yeah.
A little bit of a different story for them.
So runners on first and second now for the Red Sox. A little bit of shade here finally as Brody Black will lose his arm brace. He'll throw that back on. He grounded out in the second. That was his only AB of the day. Finally some shade out here, luckily for the fielders and base runners at Arnold Anderson Stadium. It is a toasty one. I believe there's a heat warning in the area. If you're watching at home, if you don't have AC, if you're sitting outside, grab a cool beverage and make sure you're not outside too long. I was at the cottage about a week ago. Luckily avoided the sunburns, but boy howdy, when you are toasty, you get a little bit of heat stroke. It sticks with you for a while. That's why I'm glad these players out there, especially the base runners, don't have to worry about getting too fatigued. Brody Black finds himself down 0-2.
34 feels like 39.
Holy cow.
It's a hot day, just like that heat wave. I think it was a couple weeks ago in the 40s, so not quite, but it's still pretty close.
That one sent right back up to the same spot. Comes down. Runners coming around. Can he leg it out? The big man comes home. He will score. Cassidy Watt, the catcher. I told you before, Brandon, deceptively athletic at the catcher position. Had some wheels there. RBI single, Brody Black.
That was it. I've been telling it's that same area all game long.
Well, there's a wind traveling this way from second to first base. That could be a piece of it.
That was good for Brody Black. Was he down 0-2 in the count?
Down 0-2. Great
just
comeback.
Swung and nice contact. Beautifully drops in that gap. A little again. I'm convinced there's something going on with this entire ballpark. Everything just drops instantly. So the outfielders are probably a little put off by it, but it's still really good from Brody Black.
Yeah, not perfectly batter's right. It's coming back towards first from second. It's got about a 45-degree angle back towards us here in the commentary booth. So enough that it would kind of bring balls down the same way we had those couple that Palos fielded from the Jackfish, I thought were home runs off the bat, ended up coming down. Here's Graham Tebbett, second time up today. Struck out in the second inning. Now down 0-1. That one set it right up into that same spot. Finally, the second baseman. I was going to say, Jonah Wisner, he has to be, kind of moving back, shifting a little bit backwards just in case that same spot comes. Sure enough, another hitter, almost singles. With that, the run differential comes down. 12-3, a little bit of momentum, a little bit of life from this Brantford offense. Join us back at the top of the fifth in just a few moments here on Rogers TV's coverage of the Brantford Red Sox.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Ronald.
Welcome back to Brantford Red Sox Baseball, coming to you live from Rogers TV. For those of you watching us on cable or on YouTube, we thank you for tuning in today, spending a little bit of your Sunday afternoon joining us here for a nice little Brantford Red Sox Sunday of IBL Baseball. It's a hot day here live in person. We hope you're home. We hope you're somewhere nice and cool, somewhere safe, somewhere cozy, just like the production crew here that gets to sit in our truck. We're highly envious of them. It's a warm one, but they get the nice AC. Speaking of, I want to take another quick moment. We'll do a proper credit at the end of the ball game today for them. But our awesome crew today, our entire group, Ryan, there are many Ryans on our crew today. The third Ryan, our awesome producer. And then we want to thank as well Mark, Callum, James, and Robert. As well as anybody I've missed, and yourself, Brandon, for coming in today, doing an awesome job here on the color commentary position. We should have Brian Howley back. He should return for one of or both of Friday and Sunday's action here when we return later this week at Arnold Anderson Stadium. New pitcher on the mound, number 34, Tyler Soucy, will return for what has been a rare couple of relief appearances this season. I think a lot of guys that the Brantford Red Sox organization wasn't necessarily expecting to get as many appearances as they have. Well, a lot of their new acquisitions have stepped up, and thus Soucy hasn't been needed as much. He was actually an interim kind of player manager there a few weeks back when we were cycling player managers at one point earlier in the season. And now he's back on the mound for the first time in a couple games. Let's see what he can do against I'd say a pretty successful, pretty effective Welland offense today.
Oh, yeah. Early 1-0, early 1-1. Yeah, pretty successful, especially with the last few innings. Like it's a testament to the kind of player he is, the Brantford management, Brantford GM, to trust him with Welland scoring 4 in the third, 6 in the fourth.
Right.
So I think it's a testament putting him in this, and early contact.
Well, hit ball over to the shortstop position. Lefebvre should have an easy throw to first, a little bit high once again, but that time they will reach out and track it down. No longer Veyu will get you an ID. We've had a substitution defensively at first base.
Next to the Jackfish, number 11, Gio Morello.
And number 19 there for the Brantford Red Sox is coming in that first base spot. Veyu, a little bit of struggle on the range, but I don't know if I'd put any of his defensive shortcomings today squarely on him. Is that a couple I think he and Lefebvre have to share? But Lefebvre, absolute laser there from the shortstop spot on that one.
It's a good start for Soucy. Good start.
Well, here's Gio Morello back up again after that ground out from Jonah Weisner. That one's low in the dirt for ball one. Yeah, good start for Soucy, who has not even recorded enough appearances. I was saying hasn't been seen much on the mound this year. Hasn't even recorded enough innings to be designated on the IBL stats website. So kind of a mystery there statistically for him today, but Gio Morello's not. A walk, fly out, and a sac bunt. He's 0 for 2, 1 for 3, depending on how you see the walk there. And that one sent out to left field. 1-1 now the count with Pierre Boucher up behind him. Tyler Soucy, we'll see what we see with his pitching release. The third straight righty to start off this game on the mound for the Red Sox. Pretty typical, pretty early release as that one goes through the legs of Cassidy Watt for ball 2. Luckily nobody on base to score on that one, but yeah, got a more straightforward release. Really kind of keeps the whole body pointed going downhill towards the mound. Mm-hmm. Just something different. I think something to diversify what these hitters for Welland are looking at. You just want to throw them off a little bit. You know, they've gotten such a momentum, and that momentum can really last through multiple innings.
Beautiful.
As that one looked textbook. Looked like it was on a string, and Chris Ortega, he, again, hasn't had too many troubles. Had that one nice play, that one nice hopping catch on the third base line. Other than that, he's had a pretty easy day, and he's succeeded with his opportunities.
Yeah, Tyler Soucy from Cambridge, Ontario. He returns to Brantford. I mean, he's played a couple games already. He played during the 2016-17 season. My apologies.
One of the veterans of this team, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's just come back after, that's last season. He played 2-3 record, 32 strikeouts over 30 innings in his time. So
over 9.0 K per 9. That's very competitive, actually, as a reliever. Alrighty, that's what you like to see. Welcome back, Tyler Soucy. Finds himself up strike one there. 2 groundouts. The start of his inning so far. Doesn't go around. They'll give him the ball call. Pierre Boucher up for the 4th time today. Sack single, regular single, and then walked in that 4th inning.
He's got Soucy's got a career ERA in the IBL of 8.72, mind you. Again, 30 games played. So
that one fouled off to the third base line. Almost stayed fair. Boucher, I think, thought he had that one caught up to. At least mentally, the bat didn't quite find pay dirt there. 1-2 is the count. Soucy could end the top of the 5th with a swing and a miss here. Takes a moment to collect himself. Kicks and deals. That one sent off right to the same spot, off towards the bullpen in the third base line. That'll go foul.
Little souvenir for another backyard.
I'll tell you again, really good turnout, a lot of green shirts. The Welland Jackfish fans travel well, reasonably so, top of the league. Not a big surprise they'd come out in droves, and their team is executing exactly how they hoped when they made the drive.
Beautiful.
And so is Susie. Nice bit of vertical movement there. He'll fool Boucher, who strikes out for the first time today. We haven't had a strikeout in this game by a Brantford pitcher since the second inning.
With no runs, no hits.
So the middle of the fifth, we'll swap it over. The deficit 9 here for the Brantford Red Sox. The offense, it was picking up there a little bit. We were starting to see some consistency from the top of the order, but my thing is going to be, Brandon, the bottom of the order. It's going to be these guys that haven't quite worked themselves into an everyday position offensively. Graham Tebbett's the guy that comes to mind for me. Brody Black was a question early in the year. He was kind of in just a constant rotation at right field. I think we were really trying to test fielders besides Takioka and Palos at those corner outfield positions. Now we're more solid. I think we know defensively who we like. We know we like Schmarter, but again, that offensive production just can't justify a little bit of pop on defense. So Lefebvre's got the call there. But Lefebvre's a guy as well. You came in on this everyday lineup because you were projected as having more offensive upside. And he's had it. He's hitting almost 300 on the year. Schmarter, I think when he left the full-time role, I think it was hitting .92 I should say, has worked it up. He's actually played quite well in his pinch appearances, his pinch fielding appearances. But since then, I think Lefebvre needed to show a little bit more like extra base hit upside. A nice little home run, a nice little late game moment would be huge. And the same goes for Graham Tebbett. I think it's one thing for your consistent top of the line star hitters. I would say star tag goes on Takioka, Bateman, Ortega, and Cassie Watt, the way he's hitting for extra bases lately. But those guys at the bottom, earn your everyday lineup spot. And I think this could be a great opportunity for Tebbett, for Lefebvre. There's no pressure. You're not in the best spot in the world. You're down by 9 runs. It's a position I think takes some of the pressure off, but the stakes are still there for a team trying to make the playoffs.
Exactly, because as the season goes on, Brantford's going to need to solidify their team. If they do make the playoffs, you don't want to go in uncertain about some guys and be like flip-flopping between players for certain positions there. So, I mean, if there's a time for you to prove, to show yourself, and especially in a game like this, you're down a lot. The great players, you see it even when they're down, even when the game, it feels like it's out of reach, they're still providing, they're still proving why they deserve to be in the lineup. So I think this is huge as Lefebvre and Graham Tebbett can, solidify, if they can do something, or even just show something. Don't even have to necessarily do something, but just show the team manager something. Then I think it will be so critical for them, their confidence, and then the team's confidence in them as a player.
All right, so we've had multiple substitutions defensively, so we're going to start walking you through it. Number 19 is Josiah DeVapelin, who will come in today. He's hit in a fair number of spots this season. He usually comes in as a pinch hitter later in contests. I don't have his numbers right down with me on my side, so maybe we'll give that to you, Brendan, to go track down. But DeVapelin's come in. We saw him at first base. He subbed in defensively for Veyu. Jeremy Veyu didn't hit in this spot. This was Graham Tebbett's lineup spot earlier in the day, so a little bit of rotation. We'll see how the lineup works itself out when we see the Brantford defense head back on the field. But here's DeVapelin, another guy with a big opportunity to show a little bit of offensive production here to this Brantford management, as Teo Ortega remains on the mound. 3 strikeouts on his ledger today. First one in, up high, ball 1.
DeVapelin, only 8. He's only 8 at-bats, 2 hits. 1 RBI, 2 strikeouts, no balls. He's batting to 250.
250, not bad, but again, small sample size.
Oh, yeah.
Only 2 hits will do that to you. That one, swinging miss.
His only other season was in 2022 with the Cardinals. 20 at-bats, batted to 250 there as well.
Third pitch, inside on the hands for ball number 2. 2-1, another count for DeVapelin. Looking outside the IBL, just to give you an update on that Hamilton-London game. Well, London's closed the lead up by 2, 6-2. Now the gap in that contest did start at 2:05. The website was just a little bit delayed. That game currently at the bottom of the 5th. The 2-1, big swing and another big miss. DeVapelin in front of the home fans. You want to make your presence known. He was in a good count. He's down to 2-2, and he's swinging like a gentleman who wants to put a ball over that very hard to reach left field fence.
Mm-hmm.
And aim for that maple tree, that big maple tree casting shade over Boucher, the left fielder out there. Gonna take a quick time, gonna wipe the mound off, gonna reset here for Teo Ortega. And the big thing for him today, Brandon has really been extra base prevention. He's actually given up 7 hits to this point, same as the Brantford Red Sox have. Big swing and a miss, 6 them down there. I commentators jinxed the heck out of that one. 4 strikeout of the day for Ortega.
You say giving up the same amount of hits, but the difference is the fielding plays. Obviously, Brantford last inning, they hit it into the same spot every single time, and it kept working. You know why? Don't fix it if it's not broken, but. Welland, like their fielding plays, like they're not making many errors. They're not making even if it's not considered an error, there's no tiny mistakes. Ooh, that was way outside there, but there's even the tiny little mistakes that are like the delay that's costing it out to Welland's not making those mistakes. They're making their decisions quick and they're just solidifying. Same spot.
So to give you an update, picked his spot, missed it both times. 2-0 was the count against Ethan Pavlos. So DeVaplin had actually subbed in for Lefebvre. I want to make a correction. So I think Lucas Lefebvre is getting the move at shortstop. DeVaplin definitely, I don't want to say definitely, I think he may have subbed into shortstop earlier in the season. Kind of a surprising sub early in the game. Got to wonder again if it's heat related, if Lefebvre just needed needed the rest of the game off. But again, no contest later this week. Brantford doesn't have to stay quite as hot for later action as they have the last couple weeks. They had like some triple headers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday you'd rest guys for. The 2-1 chopped lately at the shortstop. See if we can see a textbook play from Luther. He does. Makes a nice throw. Remember, he had that home run earlier offensively for the Jackfish and hasn't had many splash plays there on defense, but he's made his safe throws from the shortstop position, and he's faced some pretty easy rollers over there today. Ground out for Palos. Here comes Rene Takioka. Similar to those 2 walks there earlier in the game from that Welland hitter. It's 2 singles from Takioka, and that's not really a surprise if you watch Brantford Red Sox baseball. Takioka's singles quick pull bloopers over the second baseman's head. That's his bread and butter here in the IBL.
Exactly. Run last inning, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, run scored.
I have to move way out of the way for that. I want to touch 6-2 for the Hamilton Cardinals. It's a huge game for them. Trying to keep the Brantford Red Sox at bay, keep pushing them down. That's a huge game for them.
And break that losing streak. Remember, they've lost the last 4. Takioka. Can the shortstop make the play? Luther spinning throw. It was a beautiful throw, just a little bit late. Takioka comes home. 3rd single of the day, 3 for 3.
The ball, I don't know if you saw, but the ball, I think I saw correct. The ball was bouncing high and it just died. It must have hit
died on the edge of the grass.
It must have hit the transition from the dirt there to the grass, and it just dropped instantly, which I think kind of threw him off a little bit.
We've seen that a lot this year, and it's funny. I've noticed Lucas Bateman is able to guess those bounces better because he's seen it a lot here this season. He kind of predicts the way that the ball's going to hop weird off the edge of the dirt. So that's been fun to see the Brantford defensive infielders kind of adjust to that over the course of the year. Here's Lucas Bateman. That one's in on the hands, but just high enough to find the strike zone. Strike 1. Bateman ground out in the 1st, popped up in the 4th, and he's back here in the 5th.
I like seeing Takioka on first base there. It's pretty common. I've seen it a lot. I've started to notice that's the name I just keep hearing at first base.
Takioka goes, runner goes, no throw from the substitute catcher. No longer is it Mullen catching for the Welland Jackfish. We get you an idea on that substitute catcher as well, but all I know.
It's 9 for 9.
Yeah, as he was late on Takioka. You're absolutely right. 9 for 9. Perfect stolen base record this season. Still at large. So 0-1 is now the count for Lucas Bateman. Number 25, now the catcher for the Welland Jackfish. Here's Ortega. That one well struck. Paolo's going to pop it over the head of this shortstop. Did he make that catch? Oh my goodness, what a sliding grab. Take a bow, Brendan Luther, MVP of this one, had the 3-run homer offensively and the sliding swipe of the ball there. He kicked up a cloud of dust and I couldn't see. But talk about confidence, Brad, and making the easy plays look easy. He made a hard play look routine. That was incredible.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Like, he put some effort in, but he just kind of just.
Watch this replay here. Off the bat, had pretty good speed. It was another one I think the wind killed off the barrel. But Palos catches up to it. You see here, he's got that high stance, contact favored, sends that one up. and gets there in time on the slide through the legs, too, with a little bit of flash. Shout out to Ryan today, making his appearance on camera. He's camera 2 today. Doesn't have to do camera work for us, but he kept up with that one well. Might end up in an IBL highlight pack later this week. Nice catch, Brandon Luther.
Got his body behind it, too, as well, which is impressive. Usually you see, like, sometimes you, like, reach a little bit. No, but he got his leg. He got everything behind it. So even if it was still out of reach, he still probably would have got it as well.
New pitcher coming in, number 10 out of the bullpen for the Brantford Red Sox. We'll get you an idea on him in just a moment, but taking a look, now the gap is actually in favor of the Brantford Red Sox. 8-7 is now the margin in terms of hits. 1 error recorded so far in the whole game. That went the way of Brantford. I believe that was that misplay. I think Palos was not able to get under a ball earlier in this one. Some fun games going on here. I believe thought it was Dizzy Bat Race. That's actually pitcher Nikolai Arbach and a young fella that I believe was doing warm-ups pre-game. Young man named Nicholas. They're out there having some fun swinging at some water balloons earlier. I don't know. You were there, I believe, Brandon. There was a young gentleman, couldn't have been more than 8 years old in batting practice, was the last guy to go up there to the plate. And Brantford hits pretty well. We do pretty well in BP, as anybody really should. So I don't want to disparage the Brantford hitters. But he might have been the best contact tool hitter we had in BP. He was hitting every ball out there. It was chopping him up. Was, you know, get a little bit high off the cage, but potentially Brantford producing some young talent. We might see
get his one-day contract in. If I'm not mistaken, Leandro Mejia, 6'8", 245 out of Higüey, Dominican Republic, if I'm not mistaken, if that's what it is.
So one of many DR relievers. Not so many on the Brantford Red Sox offense, or on the Brantford Red Sox pitching staff, but many Dominican Republicans around the league taking over. Leandro Mejia going to come in, I believe, making his 4th appearance this season. And again, I'm still waiting to get you an ID on that replacement catcher there for the Welland Jackfish. But up next is going to be that catcher spot, so we'll find out here in just a moment. I believe it's one of the Goms. There are 2 gentlemen named Gom on this Welland Jackfish team. I believe a pair of brothers.
I think the relief catcher for the Jackfish was Gom, who's look who's up to bat. Gom as well.
There he is, Robert Mullen, going to take the rest of the day off.
Sure, it was. I think is that Luca 29? Is that 29 as the catcher for the Red Sox?
Yeah, that was Robert Mullen. This is now Tyson Gom, who's come in relief.
For the catcher for the Red Sox, because it looks like they put someone new on. There ain't no Cassidy Waugh back there no more.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
It's 29, which would, on the roster sheet.
I believe that's Andrew Savage, if I'm not mistaken. He caught, I believe, his 2nd game as a Brantford Red Sox. Since then, he's primarily played third base.
I don't know.
Not actually Andrew Savage either, so.
It's set 29 on the roster sheet is listed as Lucas Bateman.
Lucas Bateman does play 29. Is that Lucas Bateman catching? There you go. That's something special for the Brantford Red Sox fans surviving the heat out here. I believe Lucas Bateman is now the back catch.
Very, very wide. To touch on Leandro, 1-1 this year, 1.8 ERA, 4 strikeouts to 6 walks. So a small sample size for a 1.80 ERA, but I mean, it's not too shabby. He played in the 25-3 win versus the Barnstormers. Played in the 4-3 win versus the Panthers, and then he played in the 7-6 loss to the London Majors and the 7-5 loss to Guelph.
Well, Leandro Mejia will face off against Tyson Gom, who is the substitution catcher for the Jackfish, hitting 118 on the young season. A little bit bigger sample size. He'd probably want some of those ABs back. 6 walks to 14 strikeouts, only a 426 OPS. So a hit would be big for him here. And Leandro Mejia, very similar to that Colby Klepper release point. He's down 3-0 here in this at-bat. Doesn't want to walk his first batter of the day. And he won't. Chris Stoico, home plate umpire, is going to give him one on that one. 3-1 now the count. Yeah, Leandro Mejia is going to be looking to earn this count back. He's got Tyson Gom, then Grayson Barrett, who's already got 2 hits and a sack single on the day. Really, like I said, to open up this broadcast, no easy spots in this Brantford lineup, or Welland lineup, I should say. That one, I guess they're going to say...
Was it 3-2 now? Was it just 2-2?
Oh, it's called strikeout. No, Strike up to the top corner, so now this is a full count.
I didn't see umpire call. He just kind of stood there.
Let's see if Mejia can record his first K of the day. Would be the 5th by a Brantford pitcher in this one. The pitch. Strike 4. I don't blame him. It was kind of an early back turn. I think he was trying to sell was Tyson Gom that ball got a little bit closer to him than it did. Some fans here live at Arnold Anderson showing their displeasure. Tyson Gom had some words as he walked away.
The umpire was not shy to look at him.
Leandro Mejia, he was down 3-0. Came back to get the strike.
That's not bad. It settled down, relaxed, did his thing, and 1, 2, 3, gone.
So here's Grayson Barrett. He's chatting with the umpire as well. This Welland Jackfish team staying hot, staying
hot in the heat,
staying verbally aggressive in the heat, despite being up 12-3. So that's what the good teams do. That's why they have the league best run differential by a good margin. They keep their foot on the gas pedal every single inning of the day. That's likely a large part of the reason their fans have traveled so well out here on the road to Brantford today. First pitch against Barrett. That one well struck out towards Brody Black in right field.
Real high.
Coming down, tracking it. Black's got it. Nice textbook catch to retire Barrett. He was 2 for 3 on the day, now 2 for 4.
And now pitching for your Red Sox, number 10, Andro Maya.
We got Mateo Porceletto.
Mateo Porceletto here, coming up for the Welland Jackfish. He'll be followed by our home run man from earlier, provided he was not substituted. Brendan Luther, a home run and a walk. 2 walks and a 2 RBI single has been Mateo Porceletto's day so far. He was our player to watch because of his league-leading batting average. That will go up today. That one high for ball 1. Mejia, again, like I said, Colby Klepper, like release point, has good velocity, as many of our Brantford relievers do. The real question is just pitch mix, pitch movement, mixing in not just, additional pitches for stuff and for variety, but you also want to see a little bit of consistency on the location as that one goes wide for ball number 2. So Porceletto, Luther, and Ethan Hunt, should he be needed. Ethan Hunt, to my knowledge, is not some sort of Mission Impossible related publicity stunt, but I bet he gets that a lot. That one's wide. 3-0, now the count.
You just said something about consistency with the location. Yeah, 3-0 count, but if he can just move it to the left by a little bit, he's been consistent at that same side for these 3 pitches. It's been the same kind of top corner edge side area there.
Well, I liked your point about it earlier. It kind of speaks to what you said earlier about kind of stick to what you know. When you play these top teams, not a time to experiment unless you really think that the batters have caught up to you. The 3-0 does find the zone, earning his way back. 3-1 again. Remember how the last 3-0 went for Leandro Mejia? He got the strikeout, so could be seeing similar trajectory here. 3-1 now for Porceletto.
I think it was a 2-1 and then a 2-2 and then I don't know.
Oh, it was full 3-0. He came all the way back.
The count was I saw it was a 3-2. I don't know, but he came back still nonetheless.
Swing and a miss. 3-2. Full count, 2 outs. Big pitch here for Mejia, and if he can get a strikeout, easy fly out to Black, and then another strikeout, that's a pretty good inning of work, even if the pitch count's a little high.
Exactly. That was consistency. For those 3 balls, he put that in the same top corner. Got it, finally was able to get it over. I think he, his massive wingspan, he had to shorten it a little bit, but he finally got into that corner that he was looking for.
Like Porceletto's thinking swing on 3-2. Let's see what he gets from Mejia. Down in the zone. Loud yell from Mejia. He was mad at he wanted that one back, as Porceletto will take his 3rd free stroll of the first base today.
Next to the Jackfish, number 20, Brendan Luther.
It's rare that you see a reliever that animated. He was ticked off about that one.
He was a little frustrated. 3-0. He's almost there. It could have been a little low. I think he just. I think speaking I think he would have expected a little bit more. He just did it once before. He wanted to do it again. He can do it. He can get that location down. He got one just inside there for strike 1 in the low.
All right, so here's Brendan Luther. Remember that 3-run home run in the 3rd inning, then had a walk in the 4th. Off to a good start to his day, and now his 4th AB already in the 6th inning, and he's looking at Portulato on first base after his walk. Remember, 12-3 is the margin here at Arnold Anderson, top of the 6th inning.
Portulato was not a big leadoff at all.
Nah, these big games, guys tend to tone that down a little bit. That one well hit by Luther. Up through the gap, straight over to Palos. He'll field that cleanly. Runners will halt at first and second. Brandon Luther on the board once again. 2nd hit of the day.
Next to the Jackfish, number 9.
Now 2 for 3.
That was a nice little grass trimmer there. Not fully a grass trimmer, but a nice along the ground. Got that dirt, got that gravel in. So good fielding play though. Keep him first and second. I know it's not really what you're looking for entirely. However, take the best of a bad situation.
Shout out to the players for taking care of the groundskeeping here. We had, remember, we had one of the Welland Jackfish hitters cleaning off second base earlier. Now we got guys trimming the grass. The Welland Jackfish, good house guests here at Arnold Anderson. Is that one low in the dirt for ball 1? Mejia now faces Ethan Hunt, the man himself. 0 for 3 so far on the day, but really the only Welland Jackfish hitter to not have any sort of offensive production yet in the day. Brandon Hoope at least had that error that put him on first base back in the 5th inning. Here's Hunt. Up and almost into the head of Ethan Hunt. Had to swipe out of the way of that one. 2-0 now the count from Mejia. I think that that missed 3-2, that low ball for the walk to Portulato, I think that's one that could be a fulcrum point of this inning. If Mejia is not able to record an out on these next couple batters. That was one I think he thought he had. And it was great pitch location. It was great stuff about, Welland probably isn't super nervous about their lead right now. I think they're kind of conservative with the hitting approach. And that's when you can just pound the zone and make them pay. 2-0. Low in the dirt once again on that one. Now a full 3-0 count. He's been in these before, Brandon.
A little bit.
1 for 2 working his way out of them.
I think so. I think you can be a little frustrated with that, but I think he's just got a sense of move on. He's well aware, and I know he knows. I know that he knows. He very much can hit that zone.
That one is high, is a ball, and is a walk for Brandon Hoope, his first of the day. Let me do a quick count here. That is walk number even number 10.
Ooh, double digits now.
Today.
Marchesi up now.
Yeah, new face coming in for the Welland Jackfish.
I think for Mejia, I think it's more say he knows he can get that location down. He was trying with that outer to hit our left, his right side, that top right corner there, and now he's kind of transitioned, top like the middle, but he can't really go top up or below. He's going too high or too low, so he's really got to choose something and stick to it, because he can. Once he hits it, he's golden.
First pitch to Marchese, high and wide of the zone. I believe that's 5 straight balls to this point for Leandro Mejia. Mejia, 1.8 ERA coming into this game on the season. That's in only 5 innings, granted, but prior to this game, 4 strikeouts.
It's not bad.
Only 1 walk.
That's not bad.
A couple more walks today in this one. We can give you a full rundown in just a moment of the substitutions defensively for Brantford. I've had a whole rundown given to me, and holy cow, it's quite a few of them.
I just remember Tyler Susi got us out of the top of the 5th pretty quickly.
Yeah, honestly surprised we haven't seen any of these middle relievers double stinting innings. You kind of want to keep guys relatively out of the bullpen if you can. You don't want to just waste a day of play if you don't need to. Although again, you could argue they got a whole week off till Friday night's action back home here against the Barry Bay Cats. They got a little bit of time to recuperate. Now, unfortunately, 8 straight balls for Mejia. He's going to need to work his way back into some semblance of a rhythm if he wants to get out of this one. Runners, luckily, only on actually no runners all the way around, first, second, third. So it'll be the second time we've seen an RBI walk.
And
it is the second time. There goes Marchese. He'll take the free walk off to first base. 11th walk of the day for the Welland Jackfish. That's, I believe, is their mark from Thursday. I believe that's the 11 they hit that night we talked about pregame. Not always getting the hits. They're getting the walks. And I believe they're still tied in hits with the Brantford Red Sox. The walks have once again been an issue.
Yeah, Susi. And Lucas Bateman, it was Lucas Bateman. We were right. Susie and Bateman visiting the mound. Calm him down with the consistent, what's that, the 8th or the 9th straight ball. He just got to slow him down a bit.
9 in a row, yep.
He had good location. Those first couple at-bats, he had good locations. He was picking a spot, and he picked it, and he just hammered that spot. And then he, just for that final third strike, he just shifted it over right to just to the inside left of the center of the batting box and was able to get him out. So I think he's just got to, like I said it all game, don't try anything new. Don't try anything like obscene or special. Just stick to what you know, because it's bound to work. He showed it already once coming back from 3-0 down. So
RBI walk from Marchese. It's Josh Marchese. First strike there for Mejia. He finally gets one on the board, and Jonah Wisner is up for the 6th time today. 2 walks, a ground out, a fly out, and a single. Not in that order has been the day so far for Jonah Wisner. Second baseman's also made a couple good plays there on defense. To give you the rundown defensively now for the Brantford Red Sox, since those defensive substitutions, you're absolutely right. Our theory is correct. Lucas Bateman is now your catcher, typically the everyday second base. No, he can play. Christian Ortega is now your shortstop. Christian Ortega, the everyday first baseman, typically started at third, now moves to short. Cassidy Watt, the catcher, is now playing third base. Jeremy Veyu, the usual catcher or first baseman, is now at second. And Josiah Vappelin, who does tend to play first, is at first base. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments next time through the order as we read through. Bear with us. 1-2 now the count here. Mejia, chance to finally end this top of the 6th inning. Some claps here from the Brantford faithful.
I think the transfer receivers over here.
Mejia, that one well struck out towards Palos' territory. Good reaction time, arranging for that one. It'll actually come down to Lefebvre. Not Lefebvre, it's whoever substituted. That's Ortega has substituted to the shortstop position. Finally brings the top of the 6th to an end. Only 1 run scored, but 3 walks allowed. The gap now 13-3, the lead for the Welland Jackfish. Your Brantford Red Sox are keeping the hits close, but baseball's not scored in the hits column. It's scored on the field.
Okay, let's talk about our current Red Sox team.
Well, that'll bring the top of the 6th to a conclusion. Back out comes Ortega. He's got a good chance to go deep into this game, potentially all the way to the 8th, should he desire to. We'll see what the manager for Welland opts to do in that scenario. Let's take a quick look now at Welland's week ahead for the Welland Jackfish. Again, the best team in the IBL, both in terms of their win-loss record and just generally their statistics. They really have dominated the run differential category. They tend to win big, and when they lose close. So we'll check the Jackfish's schedule ahead. They're a team that's played quite a few home games so far in this young season. So the game today, July the 6th, they're playing us here on the road, and they also have some time off before 4 straight games for the Welland Jackfish. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th this coming week. The Jackfish play home road, Guelph, Toronto, Kitchener, and the CK Barnstormers. That's going to be their week ahead. And I think if you're a team that is so favorable at coming out of today, if you're up to, at that point, probably a 3-win lead at the top of the table with the London Majors losing currently to the Hamilton Cardinals, I think you start to play around a little bit with your lineups. You say, we like what we have offensively. We're not really, testing chess pieces the same way the Brantford Red Sox are. I think you're comfortable to leave kind of that rotation how it has been. I think your pitchers still need reps. I think you keep their order the same. But we've seen a lot of substitutions even here in this young ball game for the Welland Jackfish. I think if you're a Jackfish fan, you'll see more of that coming up in that 4 straight games in 4 days run. And then once that's done, the weekend after, we got the IBL All-Star game, and I bet a lot of these Welland Jackfish players going to be getting the call for that one when the betting comes out, or the voter results come out tomorrow.
I guarantee it. Yeah, probably going to be 3 games up. The Cardinals up 10-2 at the bottom of the 6th, scoring 5 runs in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 2 right now in the 6th.
All right, so here's Christian Ortega. Doubled in the 2nd inning, was really the only big extra base hit of the day. That one well tracking well. Off towards left field, it will come down heartbreakingly short of the wall. Really good win there, really good win tracking in from that Maple Trees side and left field. But the ball comes down just in time. Ortega, heartbreakingly close to his 6th homer of the year, will come down for a flyout.
Some conversation between
catcher
did he get tossed?
Tyson Gom, I believe, did just get ejected.
I think, yeah, he's gone. I don't know what happened. He's just come out. He's still got his gear on too. He's just walked right out and.
Yeah, Tyson Gom, here he comes. Back up, the catcher from the bullpen, I believe, is going to come out and either going to chat with Gom, should he not have been ejected. I believe I saw the signal from the home plate umpire, so that might be the day done for Tyson Gom after only one AB and a couple innings defensively.
And there's I don't know what happened. I mean, I hope we can get a word in something.
The home plate umpire speaking to a fan in the crowd.
No, I think the third plate umpire just tossed a fan out of the game.
Yeah, came over, had a bit of a discussion. The PA made an announcement. I hear a few noisier fans here in attendance at Arnold Anderson.
The Welland Jackfish fans are just standing. It is probably pretty. The bleachers are probably pretty hot. I know I've sat on a couple of steel sun bleached bleachers for a couple hours of my time in my sporting life, and they get hot. So I don't blame them for standing and taking in the 39-degree heat rather than the 40, 50, 60-degree heat that they're getting sitting on that bleachers.
If we can get a replay of that situation, that would be awesome. I believe our great crew here at Rogers TV should be able to provide us a replay of at least some of that interaction. Here's the initial at-bat. Here's where it kicks off. That's Tyson Gom, the back catch behind the plate. Pitch comes in. Remember, that ball goes down into center field, and he immediately turns around in some displeasure, talking to the ump, and he is thrown out immediately.
So I don't know what happened straight away.
I'm going to guess either he heard something from the crowd that he had talked to the ump about, was showing displeasure that the umpires hadn't done anything about to that point, or it was a situation with pitch location where he was mad about some previous calls that led to that, what could have been a hit there from Christian Ortega.
In my opinion, it's a little odd because Brantford, it was a fly out, easy out, but he hit the ball off of it, so I don't even know if it would have been pitch location. Why would he complain now about it?
It's a fair point. I'm sure we'll hear, not on broadcast, you and I, Brandon, will probably hear after the game that situation as that one in on the hands.
I think this is...
Dodges out of the way of that one. Cassidy Watt gets away with it and does catch the bat, but after a bit of a discrepancy like that, both teams' tension's high. You can't get away with getting that close to a batter that many times.
No, now catching, I think, if I'm not mistaken, number 7, Greg Marco, 5'10", 170. From just down the road from Watered Down. So, the third catcher for the Jackfish today.
Rare you see 3 catchers play defensively in one game, but it's the kind of day it's been here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. That one in for strike 2.
The heat could be playing a factor, though, with a little bit of like the heat does really bring emotions out, but I will...
Well, Gom getting ejected is really the thing we'll put that one on. Okay.
Well, hopefully Gom and the fan that got ejected. Ooh. 3
strikes on 3 pitches. Cassidy Watts sat down there. And Ortega, Tio Ortega, I know we haven't talked a bunch about him because the offense has really been the star factor for the Welland Jackfish, but Ortega's looked really consistent, really comfortable. And really, the heat hasn't seemed to affect him. His control has really been his greatest asset today, which isn't flashy, isn't really something you bother talking up most of the time, but I do want to give him his flowers. He has looked good. We got our, I believe, our outfield camera working out there from... Again, our awesome crew here at Rogers TV. I know there's a bit of a discrepancy for some of our YouTube viewers on that side. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying a nice Sunday of baseball. Hopefully that's been relatively figured out since the early innings.
The heat does play a factor. The heat...
Not just for us, but for the electronics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to touch on Ortega, I mean, you've coming in this game 32-4 with your strikeouts to balls, and he's just stacked on top of those strikeouts.
5 strikeouts, 1 walk.
So, think about it. So think about it. What's a 37-5?
Yep.
So
unheard of number.
He's 7 times more strikeouts than he does walks.
That one chopped foul by Jeremy Veyu. He's now playing, I believe, second base. One of the many interesting defensive substitutions this team's made this game. Brantford giving some reps to guys at spots they aren't usually too familiar with. Yeah, Veyu now playing second base after starting at first. That one in, just finding the corner. Strike 3, strikeout back-to-back. Tio Ortega puts his 6th K up on the board. 38-5 now his full season strikeout to walk ratio. Jeremy Veyu sat down for his first time today. Had that double play out early. RBI single, one of 3 RBIs in this game for the Red Sox. And that will bring the 6th to a close. Top of the 7th coming up. Hopefully, if you're the Brantford Red Sox defense and relief pitching rotation, you're just praying for a quicker inning than the 6th.
Exactly.
Well, I want to take a moment here. They were kind of a focal feature of that last inning with the ejection to both the fan and Tyson Gaw, back catch for the Jackfish. I want to thank our umpires today. Trevor Stoico, I believe I said Chris Stoico earlier, mixing him up with typical home plate umpire Chris Long, who often does these games here in Brantford. Trevor Stoico. I want to thank Adam Sims as well out on first base. And I believe the gentleman that was ejected by third base umpire Chris Marco. So they do a great job here. I know personally our own Brian Howley, who has commentated these games the last couple, should be returning this coming weekend. He is a former umpire, and it's been a great perspective to have. And you really understand just how integral they are to the culture of baseball, to the flow of the game. And I think that moments like that, where I know there was some exception. I think Tyson had kind of been talking to the umpires about that fan he was having an issue with prior. But as soon as it was becoming an issue, you know, Marco wasn't afraid to go out there and make his presence known, and things like that, controlling both benches, deciding when to eject players, deciding when to not, how you make calls. It's a hard job, and I think they really control the culture of the sport in a way you don't see from really refs in any sport except maybe basketball. But they do a really impressive job. Obviously the IBL, the same way the teams have a lot of travel, so do the umps here. And you said it, what is it, 34 degrees? Feels like 37. The umps are dealing with that too, so I give them full credit. Thank you so much to all the IBL umpires for what they do, and Brian Howley for his time. Hope he's having a good weekend. Believe he's at a tournament here today, so best to him and all the guys that have commentated this year. Same with Carlos Verde. He's still doing awesome writing for the IBL. We may see him later this year. Certainly, hopefully next time we play the Toronto Maple Leafs, because nobody knows a team that doesn't play on it as well as Carlos Verde.
Exactly. No, these umps have been done really good. I think like obviously it takes them an inning takes the home plate umpire an inning to get to pretty much get a zones in where it is, and he's been pretty consistent. They've all been fairly fair, and I mean the one guy, the third place got rid of. I mean he was going as someone all game long. So I think he was just giving the rest of the fans around him a nice breather. He was just doing a service to the rest of us.
Well, Leandro Mejia, he's back. He'll stay on the mound for the start of the top of the 7th. First pitch here to Gio Morello. At 1 low for ball number 1. And good thing he's from the Dominican Republic, because this heat today, as the fan in front of us, there's an umbrella that got picked up by the wind there. Haven't seen a good puff of wind here in a little bit. Finally did, and kind of the fans here by surprise. But yeah, good thing he's from the Dominican Republic, because the heat today, for these guys growing up in the maybe the Welland area, you're right there by the lake, you grow up with some cold Canadian winters, 34 feels like 45. Mm-hmm. I speak from personal experience on that one.
You know, if that umbrella ended up into here, and I wouldn't be complaining. Get that sun out of my eyes.
That one's in for a strike.
He's fine.
Second strike of the AB from Mejia.
Same spot. He's been looking for that all game. He tries to keep veering elsewhere, but that's the one consistent spot I've noticed where he's getting a lot of his strikes from.
4 ABs so far for Morello. Walk, fly out, sack bunt, ground out. That one chopped foul. Keeps the AB alive at 0-2. Alrighty, Morello taking his cuts. Trying to keep this AB alive, down 0-2. He a chance for the K. He'll get it. Swing and a miss for Morello. Second of the game for Mejia. Nice little relief appearance here by Leandro Mejia. Rare chance to get a 2-inning appearance with how this game is relatively gotten out of hand. Here comes the other Gom. Not Tyson, it's his brother. Remember, Tyson was ejected earlier in the game.
I don't think I've ever seen some brother. I don't think I've ever seen. It's very uncommon for brothers to play in team. Like, it's a pretty uncommon for brothers to be relatively the same age where they play the sport and get to play together at the same time. Because notice a lot of athletes, like, they got brothers and they're 5, 6, 7 years older, and it's just it's a big difference. So, but it's nice. It's nice. It's the little family thing, and I don't know. It's one of those heartwarming things where brothers get to play together. Oh,
catches him in the upper shoulder. He'll take the walk. Gom will find his way over to first base. I was just about to say, small sample size, only 23 ABs, but he's hitting 348 on the year. 2 walks, put a hit by pitch in that category, his first of the season. He'll take his place on first base, and
it's a forgiving, if he's gonna, in all honesty, it's a forgiving spot to be hit. From the replay, beautiful replay. From this, if it's gonna be like the side or like the back, hopefully not right in the middle of the back, but like grateful wasn't there, not the elbow, the arm, or the elbow, forearm, wrist, or head.
oh, thought he might catch that one on the backside too. Marco turned around into it to try to draw the HBP. Doesn't get it. 0-1 here. Pardon me, 1-0. Went down as a ball. It was close on the edge of the plate. Here's the 1-0 from Mejia. That one low in the dirt for ball 2. That's Austin Gom. Let's get a name there on first base for you. Mejia now up 2-0. He's been in some hitters counts. He's worked back earlier today. Let's see if he does it again. Inside, catches just the square corner of his shoulder. Similar situation. Mejia's now hit 2 straight batters. I know you want to leave a guy in a game as long as he can, but once you start hitting batters at a consistent level, typically your team will pull you pretty quick.
Yeah, I think a couple of the pitches are just getting caught.
Oh, that one, you see, actually interesting because it clips and Watts, or no, pardon me, that's Lucas Bateman now. Bateman's still able to catch up to it there, so just grazed him. That's a close hit by pitch, which isn't something you say much, but close enough that it did catch him, puts runners on first and second.
There were last couple at-bats he's been.
That one well struck out towards right field. Paulos and Black tracking under it. Who will take it? Black will. He'll make the catch. No tag up from the runners. They'll hold it first and second. A fly out for Grayson Barrett, his second consecutively. Teo Porcelato, remember, he scored his 3rd walk of the game earlier on, and his other AB was a 2 RBI single. So Mateo Porcelato
having a good day.
About as good of a player to watch pick as you can have for the Welland Jackfish. Here's the replay here. That nice swing, real crisp release there by Barrett. Just didn't quite carry the same way we've seen a couple times. Kind of faded out towards right field. The Brody Black's there to make the easy catch.
Brody Black is always there, from what I've seen.
Certainly is, even if it's like 5 feet over the right field gate. He always finds a way. 0-1, that one fouled off there by Porcelato. Porcelato, if he had come along in this IBL season and played a couple more games early on for the Welland Jackfish, he'd probably be getting noticed for the IBL All-Star game. Unfortunately, probably too small of a sample size to get the call, but wild pitch. That'll send 2 more runners, advancing an extra bag. That was Bateman the first time he's had to go retrieve one today.
I've noticed with Mejia, it's been that same spot that for him is upper right corner. He got the 2 hit by pitches there, at the 2 straight at bats, and then this one as well. He's had that one just fly way out of the zone for a wild pitch there. So it's the same spot he's been trying to hit all day, but he must be just missed. I'm not a pitcher, so I have no idea. He might be misjudging his release. He does. He's very tall, so very long wingspan.
That one pretty well struck. Again, I think it's going to catch wind. Both runners will advance because 2 outs. And the catch is made out there in left field by Graham Temmett. Brings that one in, throws it in. Top of the 7th comes to an end as Porcelato finally sits down without a productive AB. For the first time all day, he has been incredible in this contest. That'll be the middle of the 7th, which means 7th inning stretch, one of the most fun traditions on all of baseball. The fans getting on their feet. I know we don't have a camera here up here in the broadcast booth with Brandon. I'd love to see you do it. Get a camera on you or cover it. Try to get some energy going here in the Brantford Red Sox offense.
If I'll tell you this, if there was a video if we had a video board out there and you could get a camera on me, I'd make it happen.
All right, Terry Smith, Red Sox ownership. You heard the man. Let's get a scoreboard out there. I'd love to see that in some of these.
I would make it happen in a heartbeat. And right in front of where we're sitting, there's a pole. So I don't know, strap up a little RoboCam up there and just put it right on me in a heartbeat.
Red Sox Nation of Terry, Jet, and the Ramey family
So new face will come in to relieve Teo Ortega. His day will end at 6 innings of work. 3 runs allowed, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk.
It's a great day.
Number 19 is going to be the new pitcher for the Welland Jackfish out of the bullpen. We'll get an ID on him.
Anthony Porcelato.
Anthony Porcelato. Speaking of brothers, what were you saying just a moment ago? The Goms and the Porcelatos. Mateo has been having success as the DH on offense. Anthony will come in out of relief.
Port Coquitlam. Oh my goodness, my apologies. Port Coquitlam. Oh my. Okay. C-O-Q. Coquitlam. I'm sorry for butchering that very often. From BC. Rookie. Wow, he's born August 30th, 2003.
There you go.
That's a young kid.
Well, hey.
Okay.
Well, some of us are born in 2003, so
he's 22 in the month of August, so in about a month and a half, I'd say.
It's true. Alrighty, well, the young Porcelato making his appearance today on the mound. Ortega set the table well for him nicely. He's got 10 runs to work with in that deficit. Looking around, we just had a nice giveaway today. We always got something going on here for the fans, especially on these warm Sundays of baseball, where the fans have to sit through. Well, we had some almost sandstorms early in the year when we had crazy wind. The fans sat through there. We had some cold games. Remember when we kept having games get rained out? The first one we played back, it was 8 degrees or something in that range. Fans stayed out, and they get rewarded for their perseverance here with the elements. IBL Baseball has fans from everywhere. Again, the Wellands traveled well. And remember, it's reverse tariff season here at the Brantford Red Sox Arnold Anderson Stadium. Only team in the league with free tickets in this IBL season. Come on down to Arnold Anderson. Catch yourself a baseball game. That one chopped off foul by Brody Black. But come on, check out a game here at Arnold Anderson if you never have. I've had parents, I've had family and friends come out to check out the baseball atmosphere. They've never typically come to games, but it's a unique atmosphere. If you've never seen a baseball game live, even when the weather's not the best, it's nice. It's kind of a nice. Can sometimes be a passive viewing experience. I've seen people do work at baseball games. I think the Blue Jays now have an actual incentive for that. You can do anything at a baseball game. Lovely park, lovely concessions. That one goes by for a wild pitch. Count will now be 1-2.
It's a lovely place here. It's nice. It's tucked away in a neighborhood here, because right behind us, towards the exit, the parking lot is just. It's just houses. There's houses everywhere. There's a couple of youth diamonds just to past the first baseline there. I think there's 2 or 3, and there's like youth games at 8 a.m. this morning, and it's been going ever since. So even if this game ends, you can obviously. I think our youth Red Sox, when they're not playing here, we have a couple of the junior teams playing over there. So
yeah. Oh, awesome facility. There's I think the 4 complete diamonds here. In terms of the logistics, that one goes high for, by my count, it's ball 3. Looks like 2-2 on the scoreboard. But, yeah, 4 parks here, and there's always youth games. I will say, if you come to a game with the Brantford Red Sox, either show up last minute and just find somewhere to park illegally, or try to get here early, because this place is always packed. Personal recommendation, do not sit in the Dodge Grand Caravan Memorial parking section in the first base line. We've had a couple cars get hit by balls this year, and no worse baseball experience than having your car get hit. There's a walk for Brody Black. He'll take the free pass down to first base. First free pass this team has had since the 2nd inning. Lucas Lefebvre had one back in the 2nd. Now Brody Black walks, and he'll bring up Mr. Graham Tebbett, who will now have Josiah DeVaplin, who subbed in for Lefebvre earlier on, backing him up in the 9th spot. Tebbett, 2 strikeouts on the day. He'd love to get on the board in this particular opportunity. Could be his last of the day. That one well struck out towards right field. Really good contact. Traveling.
There he goes.
Gone!
Oh, my goodness.
Tebbett. There you go. The sirens blare. Graham Tebbett in a game that was relatively out of hand a moment ago. That lead gets closer. 13-5 on Tebbett's first home run of the season. He had 1 RBI prior to that swing. He's got 3 now. And Brody Black's great walk the play before brings home an extra run. Great piece of hitting. That ball carried. Let's watch a replay. Tebbett barrels it up.
Great contact.
No doubter. And for a guy with no home runs on the air, he seemed confident that one was gone off the bat.
The Welland Jackfish, he's looking over the fence, because he took a little stumble, because he looked up as that came out, and I thought it was going to drop, and then he just kept walking back and went, well, he's still going.
First ball in for a strike. Remember, this is Porcelato. Is it Anthony Porcelato? As I believe
I think so.
Name of our newest reliever. Presumably brother Mateo.
That is a...
swing and a miss there.
We were talking about Graham Tebbett earlier today. if he needed the offense, he needs to solidify his spot in this full-time lineup. And what does he go? Gets a 2-run home run on first pitch of the at-bat for him.
Yeah, he timed that one up perfectly.
Josiah DeVaplin, yeah.
Yeah, DeVaplin went out on this one. He subbed in for Lefebvre earlier on. Struck out on his first effort of the day in the 5th inning. This is his second AB, now down 1-2. That one struck well as well. It's going to find its way foul off to the first base side, but a little bit of power starting to wake up. These guys are barreling up Porcelano pretty well, and I know it's late. I know we're in the late stages, 8-run lead, but I mean, Welland, don't take your foot off the pedal too much. If you're a Welland Jackfish fan, that's the last thing you want. If you're a Brantford Red Sox fan, you're sitting up in your seat a little bit after that hit. That one sent straight over to the second base area. That's Brandon Luther. I believe he's going to field that one. Yes, he will. Take that one without too much trouble. The first out of the inning recorded. And correction, that was Jonah Weisner is the second base spot. Opposite side of the infield from him is Luther at the shortstop position. So ground out here. Here comes Ethan Palos. He's back up. The top of the order returns. Ren Takioka will be up next, and he's got 3 singles on the day. I know it's not the game the entire Red Sox team would be hoping for to this point, but if Takioka comes away from this 3 for 4, 4 for 4, that's
not bad.
Not a bad little afternoon of baseball.
No.
0-1 now. Porcelado to Palos. That one chopped up and over the head of Porcelado. Ranging to track it down is the second baseman. He's late on that one. Palos will leg it out.
You know what I'll say about that hit? He almost hit it into the dirt enough where it flew high enough where it just sat up there enough where
it caught the mound. Yeah.
It just sat up in the air long enough.
Watch the replay here. The weird hop. You see right off the bat, it almost doesn't even get to the grass on that first bounce. But a great job to leg it out by Ethan Palos. We've talked about him. He's 0 for 3 this year on stolen bases, but he's got good bag to first speed. So he's a guy that maybe the box score doesn't tell the full story. Here's the guy I was alluding to. Ren Takioka. Not the first time this game he's had a runner ahead of him in the order. That gets on base, fakes bunt, goes by him for a strike. 0-1. I mean, now with Palos on first.
The stats might not be, but Palos is hitting for leadoff hitter. I mean, he's been that for quite a few games, home games now at least. So,
that one said foul.
Maybe if the stats might not favor him, but baseball ain't a stats game. No sport is a stats game. We got to see how they actually play and their impact on the field.
0-2. Takioka strikes that well. Out towards right field. Same spot. Exact same spot. It is gone for Takioka. The bats are coming alive. Another 2-run shot, this time off the bat of Rene Takioka. Mateo Porcelado was the player of the day for the Welland Jackfish. Takioka's 4 for 4, and a 2-run home run makes his day perfect. I'll have a quick chat with the home plate umpire. Maybe took exception to the bat flip, but if you're the Brantford Red Sox, you've probably been pretty ticked off to this point. A little bit of flavor, a little bit of pimping that home run isn't the worst thing. Here's the replay, just right off the bat, hard swing, one of the rare kind of upward swinging cuts that Takioka does. He usually swings from the top, he swung from the bottom there, and he found pay dirt. Second 2-run homer off Porcelado in this inning.
I just want to say, all 3 home runs today have been at that exact
spot.
Same spot.
Right field fence out there, right where that gate opening is. As a mound visit here for Porcelado, we'll see if he gets substituted for a new reliever.
It's got to be a little frustrating. I mean, Porcelado comes in. I mean,
he's made this a ball game again.
Not his fault, though. I'm not just putting him down by any means. He's a great player. It's just Brantford. They're just swinging at everything, and they know it's a farther game. And we came in this inning 12-3, got 4 runs, two 2-run home runs, which is a mouthful to say, in the exact same spot. So it's anything to play for, and that's a good first pitch back from a mound visit for Porcelado.
First pitch in, and there on Lucas Bateman. Started this game as the second baseman. Now he's the catcher. He's up here for the 4th time today for him. That one sent off the glove of replacement catcher. That one will bounce out and make this, I believe, a 1-1 count. That one well struck. Finds the gap past the shortstop. This Brantford Red Sox offense is alive. Lucas Bateman, a stand-up single there. The first hit of his day.
Graham Tebbett and Takioka really flying it up. Paulus getting that hit. And
See the replay here, you'll watch it finds its way down past the shortstop's right. And you got to remember, the shortstop's always vaguely turned out there to his left. You're always kind of thinking plate. I think your mental positioning is just as key as your physical positioning. He didn't look ready for that quick single underneath his right shoulder. That'll find its way through for a single. Chris Ortega was my player to watch for today, and it's because he was clutch against Hamilton. He's got a big power bat. Sometimes he's have to coin a new nickname. He's been can't miss Chris in clutch positions to this point in the year, and now he finds himself in a spot that he can make this game even more interesting. Foul out to the left field area, but based on where the left fielder for Welland is looking, that one traveled way out.
Oh yeah,
into foul territory.
Someone got a brand new souvenir in their backyard. One thing I'll say, we got the fast, athletic. I'm not saying our bigger guys aren't athletic, but we got the smaller, faster, athletic guys.
Swing and a miss there for Ortega.
We got the smaller, faster, athletic guys out of the order. 2-run home run, Paulus and Takioka. You got the bigger guys coming in, the big hits. Already got runner on first, so I mean, it's due.
1-2 to Ortega. That one chopped towards the shortstop. Should be a textbook double play for 1. 4-2. They'll end the inning, and Ortega, unfortunately, will ground into the double play. One of the rare times he's done so this year. But what do you think about that, Brandon? A little bit of life here from the offense. What we like to see here at the Brantford Red Sox operation. Thank you for watching Rogers TV Brantford Red Sox Baseball. 2 more innings ahead. We'll send it off to break, and we'll see you in just a moment for the top of the 8th. Welcome back to Brantford Red Sox IBL Baseball, coming to you live from Rogers TV. We thank Rogers TV for covering this action today. I know it was looking hit or miss there at the beginning. Wasn't looking the way that Brantford Red Sox fans would have liked, but the bats have woken up. They've out-hit the Welland Jackfish, and the scoreboard after that 7th inning is finally starting to show it. Looking around the league a little bit, Brandon just told me to my right that the Hamilton Cardinals are up 12-2 now on the London Majors. And by the transitive property, seeing as we beat them 4-3 on Friday, maybe we're better than the London Majors.
I think so.
Could be a late game comeback against the best team in the league, the Welland Jackfish, and the transitive property says maybe we're better than the second best team. So, silver linings here at the Brantford Red Sox here at Arnold Anderson Stadium for some Sunday IBL baseball.
I think so. Looking at the Cardinals and Majors game, I mean the Cardinals are only out hitting the Majors 11-9.
Hit by pitch on the very first pitch of our new relievers, AB, number 5 for the Brantford Red Sox. We should have his ID for you in just a moment. Wasn't on the team's posted roster, which means I believe we're seeing a rookie. Seeing a new face here is Brendan Luther's awesome day of hitting will come to a halt, but in a positive way for him. He'll get hit by a pitch for his first time today, but it'll be his second free pass after his walk in the 4th inning. Up to bat next is Ethan Hunt. He's up for the 4th time today. That one low and in the dirt. Cassidy Watt, or I keep saying Cassidy Watt because I'm so used to him as the back catch. Lucas Bateman, interestingly enough, makes the play on that ball to keep it blocked in front of him.
He's been Lucas Bateman's been pretty good back there.
He's looked solid here. Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect when he came in. But runner goes. That's Luther digging for second.
Oh.
Wild pitch goes by him. Luther will hold up there. I think he thought about further progress. Bateman, though, I know he missed. It's not the easiest throw in the world, especially off your knees. Pop throws to second are one of the toughest things in all of baseball. Yeah. That one was pretty competitive. I'm impressed.
No, that was a pretty good throw. I mean, it sucks it was a little bit to the guy's left or just towards the runner, but I mean, it's still pretty good. And again, I'd like to say he's getting behind every pitch. Cassidy Watt has rubbed off on him pretty well. They both get behind. That's something I've noticed with all of our catchers is they get behind pitches. Not many go back into the back dirt.
Yeah, that's something Brian's really remarked about the entire year about how exceptional mostly Cassidy Watt, claiming that he reminded him a lot of some catchers he's a fan of from the past. Still waiting to get an idea on our new pitcher, but has yet to put one in the zone. That one won't. That's a free walk for Ethan Hunt. So 2 runners on the bases. So the steal there by Luther, relatively all for naught, as he'll would have gotten walked forward for progress either way. Josh Marchese, here he comes for his second effort since getting subbed for Brandon Hoope in the 6th, pardon me.
Quick mound visit from Susie again. Played the 1 inning, the 5th, and in then out. He got us in and got us out.
Still a leader of this team.
It's saying
Tyler Susie, which is incorrect. So this must be a player that was not available on the team's pre-game lineup card. So new signing, new fresh face.
I like it.
If he can find his location, I know he's had that walk on 4 balls here. If he can find his location, show us a little bit of something. You come out of it today with a little bit more recognition, and we'll remark about him in the future. That's kind of what we've seen from guys like De La Cruz. Obviously, Colby Klepper, when he got signed midseason, immediately made an impact from his first start.
I remember. I think I was here for Colby Klepper's home debut, at least. I don't know if it was his debut.
Was his proper debut.
Yeah, no, it was a good outing.
He's looked rock solid since that point. Ethan Hunt, no hits for him yet on the day.
Oh,
thought I jinxed that one there. He almost caught the edge of the bat, but chops it off of Bateman, then foul. So runners on first and second. Lead down to 6 after that big offensive inning for Brantford in the 7th. Again, Marchese can't quite keep up to that one. That one will just be chopped down foul.
He's keeping himself alive, though.
Keeping him in the count.
So
doing a good job here to attack the zone more as our new relief pitcher.
I'll say this, especially with Graham Tebbett can say, all it takes is one pitch and it's gone.
Absolutely true.
So
Marchese's got a little bit of pop, a little bit of upside in that bat. One of the more dangerous power threats you'll see at the 9 spot. Now 1-2 the count. First ball of the AB. The 1-2. That one chopped over to the second baseman. Can't make the play on it. It goes by. That one will come in, rounding the bases with Luther. He'll come around third, come home, score the 14th run of the ball game for the Welland Jackfish. Runners advance to first and second.
Took a little bit of a bobble there from dirt. Dirt took an extra bounce, maybe off
that spot again. Yep.
A little piece of, I don't even know, a little piece of some sort of extra piece of little gravel or stone out there, and they took an extra pop, which I think fooled him out there, which then caused that. So good hit though, good hit.
Very good hit. All right, here's Jonah Weisner for the 6th time in this ball game. Again, rare you see a hitter make that many appearances in one contest. But somebody's got to stay in. I think they've almost exercised all of their substitutions and their pitch hitters and defensive subs. So Weisner will get the call to stay in at the leadoff spot. Single, fly out, walk, ground out, walk. It's been his day so far. Behind him will be Morello and Austin Gom. That one struck pretty well, but straight to the second baseman. I think he caught it direct. Didn't try the throw to first. I think a little bit of miscommunication there, I will say. You would have liked to see a throw to first on that one. I think that's just a lack of comfort with the second base position. If I had to diagnose that one. It's Jeremy Veyu out there on second base. I don't think he's ever had a game where he's not even started or been subbed onto the second base spot. Started the season catching, then moved to first and third.
Just realized excuse me, just realized the pitcher left-handed thrower. I just only kind of put that in my head now.
First lefty of the day for this Brantford Red Sox mound situation. That one, good movement, does find the zone. Nice little pitch there.
I just like to say, looking at our YouTube comment section, I'd like to say we're worldwide with a few viewers coming in from I think it was California.
California, there you go.
I think I gotta look back on this, but like lots of great conversations. Obviously, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Ooh.
And California, and I have an uncle
Whoa.
watching from. Oh wow!
I think it caught him in the hand. Gio Morello.
Ooh.
He is vocal. Very unimpressed. Very vocal with his displeasure there. A bit of chatting from, I think Bateman chatted at him from the catcher's spot.
Constructive vocal conversation looks like he's having. If that makes any sense.
Constructive is a
like
is a
he's
way
angry,
to look at it.
He's angry, but he's voicing concern.
Let's watch the replay. You see, just right off the hand, and it catches air. That's a perfect camera angle. Oh. Right up high, gets him off the knuckle. Those are the ones that'll sting and stick with you for a couple days. And the way it bounced, I think that was the most velocity that our new relievers had on a pitch.
Exactly,
Unfortunate that it had to be the one off the hands.
Hopefully, he does look okay, shaking it off. But just like to say, I have an uncle coming in from New Brunswick, all the way from New Brunswick.
There you go,
Uncle Tony, and we have somebody else from Nova Scotia as well. So I just like to say, countrywide, we're global in my opinion.
Both coasts, west and east. Wild pitch, runners will advance. I believe the fourth wild pitch to move runners today. The Welland Jackfish have scored really in every way. We keep showing the scoreboard. We're out hitting the Welland Jackfish, but we've allowed runs in, I think, every flavor you can imagine. We had an RBI balk, which is extremely rare. We just had the wild pitch. I think 2 of those scored runs. Just a weird day full of errors. We remarked about it in that Thursday game. We as Brantford out hit them in that contest as well, and yet the scoreboard, 9-3, you're going, what happened there? It's exactly what happened today, and it's these good teams that I think if Brantford wants to take that next step and not just keep up to try to sneak into a playoff spot, but want to become a major organization in this league, it's cleaning up the little mistakes, and I think that's, today I think is at a level even more volatile when it comes to those little mistakes than I think we could have imagined. The 1-2, that one popped up in the air, chance for the out.
And even if you're gonna outrun, or my apologies, if you're gonna out-hit another team, like obviously we're out-hitting Welland on Thursday night, if you're gonna get a hit, you gotta capitalize. And I think Welland, like you win 9-3 while getting out-hit. You don't have many hits, but when you do, you're capitalizing on them. You're using that opportunity that you have, and you're using it to its full effect. That's a big swing.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Garth Rapp. I finally got an ID on our new relief pitcher right as his inning comes to a close. Garth Rapp records his first strikeout of the day and of his IBL career, to my knowledge. So Gom sits down. Top of the 8th comes to a close. And seven-run differential. But again, this Brantford Red Sox offense kind of picked it up there in that last inning. And with the pop they were shown out there towards right field off those Tebbett and Takioka homers, this one could get close, could get competitive potentially towards the late stages of this ball game. But I don't mean to speak for you, Brandon. It is getting even hotter at this point here at Brantford's Arnold Anderson Stadium.
It is a cooking day. And who did you say our pitcher was? Garth Rapp?
That's right, Garth Rapp, number 5.
Garth Rapp, Greg Rapp. I'm reading these comment sections.
Greg Rapp.
Our Nova Scotians are watching for
their buddy. There you go. Well, the IBL app is wrong then, so.
But we appreciate the support, and supporting all the way from Nova Scotia. It's a pretty good distance. I got some family going out there to see my uncle out in New Brunswick, and they're taking the drive out there to see the scenery, and it's a pretty long drive. I've done it once, and I went to Halifax, and it was we didn't do the full day, so we left about mid-afternoon, took some rest in Quebec, and then we finished it off. So it was a pretty long road trip, but we appreciate it, and I'm sure he appreciates it too. 100% does. And it was a nice strikeout too, I'll tell you that. Got the guy swinging.
New arm on the mound here for the Welland Jackfish as they get set for their second to last, or potentially second to last inning of defensive work. Again, that Brantford Red Sox offense showed life in the 7th. You're going to want to quell that real quick if you're the Welland Jackfish. You don't want to get what you thought was a surefire win out of hand back the other way. I want to do some housekeeping kind of as we go through. That way, once we get to the conclusion of the 9th, we can send you off for the rest of your Sunday with relative ease. Again, I want to thank our all the crew here with the Brantford Red Sox, not just on our broadcast, but also those that make it possible in concessions. Julie on our awesome media team. Check out their stuff on Instagram or anywhere. Just look for Brantford Red Sox. Our IBL Instagram stuff is always good. Also follow the official IBL page for more information about the upcoming All-Star game. Again, I believe voting for that closes tomorrow. They should have announced their final results. I believe there were 3 Brantford Red Sox on the tentative list they posted halfway through the voting process of who the current inductees to the All-Star game would be. But I want to thank specifically our crew. You'll see them post-game in the credits. But I want to thank Ryan Lavere, James Battaglia, Callum Tiernan, Mark Stansbury, Robert Kabinga, a couple others that weren't on my sheet here, and Ryan Giesbrecht, our awesome producer. I've worked with him in the past. I've had the pleasure of joining him from the other side of this process on the production crew. Today, the first time we've worked together in a game I've called. He always does an awesome job. I'm looking forward to having him and all of Rogers TV back for next Sunday's game, following the Friday action against Barrie that will be regular, still be on the IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube and wherever you would conventionally be watching it.
I can get you an idea on that pitcher. Daniel Howitt, hometown from Brantford.
There you go. Brantford native will get a chance. We'll get the Pip to throw a couple balls in this one. Bottom of the 8th, he'll make his appearance today. You said that was Howitt?
Howitt. Howitt. I think so, yeah. But a touch and, Howitt. I think all the crews that we use, I think all the crews we use, both with Rogers TV right now and the regular crew we use for the IBL Red Sox baseball on YouTube, it's surreal, and especially the in-house as well. We all interchange. Have a couple of people wearing multiple hats, and it's impressive. I'll be honest with you.
Really impressive. And today took an army. There was a couple extra. You'll see a couple extra camera angles, some awesome production today, and our crew is the reason for that. Warm day, too. Hopefully they're all staying hydrated. Hopefully you guys are at home. Big swing and a miss for Cassidy Watt, as Howitt gets him down 1-1, making his appearance in front of his hometown fans. That one goes in for strike 2. Now 1-2 for the new reliever. Cassidy Watt's day so far. RBI single in the 2nd, regular single in the 4th, and then a strikeout in the 6th. He'll look to keep that to just 1. That one goes wide, evens it back up, full count, 3-2, and those pitches Howitt's missing off the outside, they are real outside. Got to make sure he doesn't...
Good catch from Marco, though.
Give Watt the free base. Yeah, no, great catch by Marco as the defensive replacement. That one, an easy walk for Cassidy Watt. His first of the day, 3rd overall for the Brantford offense.
Next for the Red Sox, number 12, Jeremy Veilleux.
Jeremy Veilleux, who substituted defensively. He's been playing second base since those changes we made back in the 5th inning, where we really subbed the whole defense around. He's still hitting there in that 6th spot. His day so far, grounded into a double play, had an RBI single, and a strikeout with Watt in that 6th inning. No outs still, which means next on deck we will see Brody Black and Graham Tebbett. That one high. Good job by Marco once again to get that ball in front of him. 1-1. Howitt's ready to deal here. That one chopped. Awkward angle off the bat. Sounded like a break. Looks like it isn't.
Into the graveyard. To touch on, yes, we did just thank Lavere. Asking if we thanked Lavere in the comment section.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Lavere.
Yeah,
Ryan Lavere fans out there. Ryan Lavere For those that have ever worked with him, he is the most premium of premium cameramen. He does an exceptional job. Does great work with the Kitchener Rangers back in Kitchener local cable.
I think there was a milestone, I think, in the end of the regular season of the playoffs where he hit I think it was 400.
400 or 500. I feel bad. I can't remember.
Big milestone. He's done a lot of stuff for the Kitchener Rangers and anything and everything in between that he does as well. He was here last year as well doing some games for the Brantford Red Sox when I think they came in and did a couple features as well.
Yeah, good camera work, especially good follow camera work like the camera stuff he does. It's a combination of focus and experience. He's got both in spades. Same with Jeremy Veyu, who just popped up to center field. That ball will come down. Calling for it is Gio Morello. He'll get it, and was worried there may be a little bit of discomfort for him on the catch with that. Remember that right hand he took the ball off of there offensively in the last inning. But here comes Brody Black up for his 4th time today. Ground out, RBI single. Not a walk in the 7th inning. So Black and Tebbett, that could be the end of this inning. In which case, the last guys we'll see here to close this game out will be Lefebvre, or pardon me, Lefebvre has been subbed for Devaplin. So Devaplin, Palos Takioka. Takioka, if he does get to come back up for a 5th time, could go for a perfect 5 for 5 on the day.
Even if not, even if he goes 4 for 5, that's 80%. That's
exceptional. 2-run homer as well. His, I believe, 2nd of the year. Big swing and a miss there from Brody Black on Howitt. Oh, Takioka's 3rd of the season. Guy that doesn't come up to the plate with an aggressive power hitting approach. Again, like I said earlier, tends to swing above the ball rather than below it. Doesn't tend to lead to extra base hits, but he found one today. He and Tebbett probably built a divot out there in right field, the way they both hit the exact same spot. 1-2 now the count. Howitt to Brody Black. The 1-2. Just high enough in the zone. Trevor Stoico, home plate umpire, will give him the call there. 2-2. That one well struck out towards left field. Tracking towards the maple tree. Hits off the fence, won't go out. That high fencing out there in left field, it bounced off of it. And that's a stand-up double for Mr. Brody Black, his 2nd hit of the day. Good piece of hitting there. Won't quite come home to score. Again, one of the more athletic catchers in the game. And again, I don't mean to say this thing is anything but, unfavorable for the Brantford Red Sox, but this lead is starting to shrink. It's looking more and more favorable by the plate. You see there, just catching that high piece of fencing was an unfortunate place to try to exit the ballpark. Quickly fielded by the left fielder out there, and
it was a good throwback, though. Good insurance marker there.
Great sound off the bat. I was up in my seat ready for a home run call when I saw that, or I heard that sound. Didn't find any luck, but who knows how to, hit a home run here at Arnold Anderson Stadium? Mr. Graham Tebbett, he did it last time he was at the plate. That 2 RBI homer to right field. Came off a day where, to that point, he only had 2 strikeouts on his ledger. Oh, big, interesting, like almost a sweep swing there on a ball that looked destined for the dirt.
I think if Brody Black hit it out to right field, I think it would have went over. Yeah, we've clearly had both teams have had success over there. So
the left field and the maple tree have typically been where the pull righties tend to find success, but today for whatever reason those push home runs and Takioka, he's a lefty, so that would be a pull. But yeah, an interesting spot that. Guys have been able to capitalize on. Well, same as well. Brantford's had success just over the head of the second baseman. They basically have 2 spots. People talking about 2 outcome hitters. We're a 2 outcome offense. The way we've hit certain spots today. That one well swung a little bit high. Not going to track very well. Getting down on it to Morello. He'll make the textbook catch, but the tag up thinks better of it. I think Cassidy Watt likely gets caught there if he goes for it, so probably good decision to hold up.
Smart.
Another good ball off the bat, though, and Graham Tebbett, a guy that hasn't shown a ton of pop, a ton of barrel rate. Not a bad little way to recover from those 2 early strikeouts. Last 2 ABs.
No, and we need some offense. This was the game. I mean, it was 12-3 at some point.
That's right.
We needed the offense, and he's come up in a big way. I know our Takioka coming in as well, but he not a
in the dirt. Wild pitch, but too close to the plate. No chance for Watt to come home. Whew. Thought about it, though. You see Cassidy Watt there, batting gloves off. He's
ready.
He's ready. He's looking. I remember the first game I saw him this season, my thing that immediately stood out is he was doing like, big, in Takioka has a warm-up routine. He was doing like full 2-foot in the air vertical hops, getting ready for his ABs. Not what you usually expect to see from a catcher, as that one's in the dirt once again. Howlett's starting to lose his location on the bottom. So 2-0. Runners on second and third. This is Josiah DeVapwood. It doesn't go around on that one. That'll be a full 3-0 here. Could walk the bases loaded. That would put Ethan Palos up to bat, and a gentleman still, to this point, homerless on the young season. I would typically say young season. We are halfway through the year. If you're Palos, you'd like to get yourself on the board with not only more RBIs than the 5 he has on the season, but also a home run. He's been a great contact hitter as the count's now 3-1, but he'll have an opportunity to make a splash with an extra base hit. Doesn't go around, and Ump will give it to him. Trevor Stoico says head to first, bases loaded.
Load him up, load him up.
Next for your Red Sox, number 13.
This could be top of the order. Ethan Palos, who hasn't hit, I'm not going to say hit. He hasn't hit bad, but he hasn't hit, not exceptional. He's hit, it's been okay. He's getting contact, maybe not in the places that he wants, and, he's getting the contact to the place we hit 4 times prior, so Welland's ready for it.
That one struck well, but I think it'll come down. Ball ranging a little higher than it would have needed. It comes down. The left fielder makes the catch, and they'll strand. The base is loaded. Takioka would have been up had Palos been able to get on base, and that would have been a pretty favorable spot here for the Brantford offense. I want to take a moment here as we do the flip. We get ready. Top of the 9th coming up here in the final inning of work potentially for the Brantford pitching staff. I want to thank our YouTube audience. Again, the fact that, as Brandon mentioned, we're getting some international viewers today. Always fun to know where people are coming to these games from. If you're watching for a friend, a family member, somebody today, like the we had somebody just a moment ago who had some pretty good support there on the YouTube side. Those of you watching on Rogers TV cable, you can't see the YouTube chat, but check it out. If today's your first time you've ever watched a Brantford Red Sox contest, not every game the rest of the year will be covered by Rogers, but those that aren't, check us out. IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube. We do our best when we get a little bit of interaction to do some fun stuff with you guys, and we'd love to get more involved. Again, Brian will probably be back on the call. We're not kicking Brandon off. There's always a spot here. You've done really well today.
I got the directing job is taken by the Ryan Giesbrecht. I mean, he's better than convincingly better than me.
Oh.
He also works for Rogers though, so I got to take when we don't have them, I got to sit back in the directing seat.
Well, you and I haven't really talked about our kind of background. Yeah, you are our everyday director. It's good for the people to kind of get to put a voice to a name in the credits. But yeah, you've been our director this season. You've done a really good job kind of getting the tech together. You've had a big part in this new era of Brantford Red Sox broadcast. And you and I have been in the Brantford market for a while. You and I worked on the Bulldogs together. We were interns with Rogers earlier in the year.
Kitchener as well.
And for Kitchener. But the Brantford Bulldogs season's coming back up soon.
Oh, I'm excited for
Reed
that.
Duthie and that whole crew there for the Brantford Bulldogs. They got a fun season to call. Heartbreaking the way that season ended. The playoff run that I think felt like was inevitably going to result in some sort of series against the London Knights came up short. There's a lot of sleeper teams there in the middle part of the OHL standings. That the depth from the first to the 12th team down the order, it came back to bite the Brantford Bulldogs. But Jake O'Brien gets drafted high in the NHL draft. Congratulations to him. And my Sharks picked up Michael Misa.
Yeah,
so,
that's nice.
Solid little draft.
It's nice to see a Brantford Bulldog going 8th overall to the Seattle Kraken. And I think it might have been, oh my goodness, Parker Holmes, I think, was drafted to the Chicago Blackhawks. He joins Nick Lardis, American hacker. So
some really good prospects there.
So yeah, no, it's a lot of great pool, and just CHL drafted. Brantford just drafted a 17-year-old out of Moldova, 7-foot 17-year-old at 273. Monster of a player.
Were they accidentally looking at an NBA draft board, perchance? What has happened? That's incredible.
Might have been.
Huh.
Might have been.
Well, here comes Marco to start off the final inning for the Welland Jackfish. Top of the 9th. They lead 14-7 in this contest. They've out-hit the Brantford Red Sox, I should say, have hit the Welland Jackfish 13-9 so far today. They have the only error on the board so far. New pitcher, number 37. We'll get you an ID here in just a moment. First pitch. That one wide and low, ball 1. Bateman still the back catch for the Red Sox.
Well, it's 37, but is it Jorge De La Cruz
Indeed it
pace.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Jorge De La Cruz, who's been exceptional. Speaking of pitchers like Colby Klepper that came in and immediately made themselves known, he had 5 strikeouts through his first 6 batters in his IBL Red Sox career earlier this season. He's exceptional. He's a guy that I like closing this game and keeping the differential to 7. If that pop from the 7th inning, as that ball goes wild once again, bye for ball 2. Ball 3, pardon me. If that inning of work comes back, if our momentum-based offense, as we always are, we always work, runs come in bunches, we really feed off each other. We got the best part of the lineup coming up. I don't mind having De La Cruz in this spot to try to keep the lead close.
Absolutely
Finally
not.
finds the zone for 3-1.
I remember, I think, the first game that I seen, first home game I had seen he come in as a relief near the end of the ball game. He did a fantastic job in subduing the offense, as much as Brantford. I don't remember the game, but as much as they were losing, he really calmed it down, subdued it, pushed it away, and they kind of kept us. Well, he kept us in it. I know our offense couldn't really pull anything back, which sucks, yeah. But oh my goodness, that is beautiful.
Nice punch out there by De La Cruz. Good speed on that.
He's subduing the offense.
A bit of chatting here. Marco still looking back.
He's
a few choice words. I'm hearing some.
And
I'm hearing some chirps from the Welland bench.
coming.
Gio Morello's coming out saying a few choice words. He is not happy with how De La Cruz kind of celebrated that pitch. And I love to see it. A warning going both ways. This is starting to get a little bit chippy, a little bit aggressive, and home plate umpire Trevor Stoico is putting his foot down. That's what I was talking about before. Umps control the culture. I love the way he treated that situation because that was starting to get out of hand. I know Morello had that ball in the hands earlier, had that HBP. He's still
going at the Brantford dugout. I don't know what he's doing. He just wants to play. That's a great striker from De La Cruz. Starts it a bit wide there, but great striker from De La Cruz there.
Still a lot of chatter here. I think it came down to the way De La Cruz kind of celebrated. It was a beautiful pitch. You remarked about the velocity on that strikeout ball was great, but the way it was treated, that one sent up in the gap between first and second. The Welland Jackfish bench is going nuts at the much to the chagrin of De La Cruz.
It's a good hit.
The Heat's bringing up the heat today. I think we've seen that a little bit. We had one similar situation. We had that bench clearing, not a brawl, but a bench clearing situation. I think it was against Kitchener early on in the season.
I missed that game. The one
you did.
Game. I did. I was sad when I came back the next day and you told me, and I was like, what?
Well, here's Portuato up again. Here's a gentleman that if that Welland Jackfish bench is going to get fired up for every hit, they may need to be on the edge of their seats. 3 walks, 2 RBI single. And then he flew out on a hit that was close to a home run in the 7th inning. Portuato's been great. His brother on the mound did allow a couple runs there that made this ball game as close as you see it now. But still, the Jackfish up 14-7. 1 out, top of the 9th. So Grayson Barrett, he's on first base. Portuato will have Brendan Luther, who hit that 3-run homer early in the game. He's behind him. Couple guys in that Jackfish bench taking exception. That ball was close to the back of Portuato.
He could have just hooked it way too far, and he had a couple that were real far out. So I don't think there's any malice or meaning behind it. I think it was just he just very late release. So
De La Cruz, 1 strikeout in the inning, kicks and deals, wide off the plate. Puff of smoke off the ball. That'll be 2-1.
Lucas Bateman was patting a lot of dust off his glove too as well for this. So
Bateman's done a great job today. I got to remark about him. Great job coming in at back catch. I know that was back when they thought this game was out of hand. They just wanted to save some reps for Watt. But he's actually been quite good, and this game has gotten closer since he got there. Hasn't really too
nothing
much
against
by him.
Cassidy Watt. I mean, there's nothing. He back catch great.
Oh, he's stellar. Yeah, that's why I'm so impressed is that he hasn't had a fall off since Watt's awesome defense. Here's the 2-2. Big swing and a miss.
Beautiful. That's the second punch out where he's just got the guy swinging.
De La Cruz I'll give him credit. Welland's really going at him right now. Didn't add much pizzazz on that one. Didn't look at the bench. Nice mature strikeout there, and De La Cruz continues to just rack up Ks when he gets in a ball game. Here's Brendan Luther. Remember, he's the gentleman that had that big 3-run home run today. One of 3 in the contest. Again, we talked about how rarely you see home runs here at Arnold Anderson. Had 3 in this contest. More or less all to that same spot in right field. That one low in the dirt. 4-1. 2 outs in the inning. It's De La Cruz. It's Luther.
Don't forget Bateman. Luke's Bateman. Put him in. Home plate ump. Still runner on first.
That one chopped up high. It's finding a weird gap in between the shortstop and the center fielder. Comes down. Nobody can play it. Runner comes to third. Slides in. That was close, actually. Grayson Barrett almost got caught sleeping on third, but
that's a good fielding play there, though.
Don't forget, Cassidy Watt still in this ballgame, just at third. Made that catch there to keep the play close.
Correction, number 9.
Here's Ethan Hunt up to bat. This will be his 5th AB of the day. Strikeout, ground out, ground out. Not a walk.
All over the place.
Yeah, very versatile day. Not a real hit on his ledger so far. I believe he's the last Welland Jackfish hitter to not have recorded one. That one's in, strike 1. De La Cruz, not a pitch to contact guy. He throws hard, but he throws in the zone. Often balls that he pitches can be hittable. Not really a pitch to contact guy. Runner goes, Brendan Luther. I believe his 2nd bag swiped today.
It's not bad.
Yeah, look at his numbers. He's relatively steadfast when it comes to stealing. So far in his young season, yeah, he was 7 for 8 coming into today. He'll leave 9 for 10 should he not steal one more. That one's low and in the dirt. One, 2 now. De La Cruz on the cusp of his 3rd strikeout of the inning.
I'll say this. I do, as much as it, 14-7 doesn't look that bad, but if you think about it, Welland's doubled.
Well struck, finds the gap over the head of the shortstop. Comes home, Barrett's home. Another runner scores, 16-7. The Welland Jackfish extend their lead further.
I was going to say, like, at 16-7, I know I was going to say 14-7, it's double the lead, so now we're over, like, Welland's over doubled Brantford's total, but that's good contact. That's great contact.
De La Cruz did not have an earned run this season coming into today's ball game. You see the replay on that hit. He is now allowed 2 on that one swing of the bat for Mr. Ethan Hunt.
And as much as it's 16-7, I still appreciate that Brantford was down 12-3 at one point, and they still put up some runs, put up some two-run home runs. So, and they didn't give up. Like they still haven't. Like De La Cruz is still pitching well. He still had 2 strikeouts already, which are both outs. But I appreciate and it's nice to see they're still trying because they know even if they don't win this game, they still have a lot. Bit outside, but they still have a lot to build off of. And they got 2 home runs in a game. I have never seen that in a home game in all the games I've been here. So lots to work with.
That one well high. De La Cruz, maybe the heat's starting to get to him. Has struggled to find his spot since those 2 punch-outs early in the inning. 2-1 now the count. Well, you're surprised when we saw 28 combined runs the other day on Tuesday in that big win against Chatham-Kent. We've seen 23 tonight. Oh, won't get the call. I think a couple fans think Trevor Stoico may have missed the mark on that one, but 3-1 is the count. De La Cruz has yet to walk a batter. Until now, Marchese will take a spot on first base. Runner on first advances.
Same spot 3 times, so. He looks like it's the same spot that Mejia was looking for. He's looking for that same spot, the right far side of the batter, outside, just inside the box there, but he just couldn't just dial it in.
Yeah, typically that's lefties' weaknesses. Lefty hitters are often better to attack kind of the ball coming across you. That's where horizontal movement from a left-handed pitcher is always helpful, but righty-lefty, usually the matchup favors the lefties. First ball, straight down Main Street. Strike one.
On deck, Brantford native.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That one's in for a strike. Yeah, Howitt the starting, the relief pitcher.
On deck.
Currently on the batter's circle.
If he's needed.
0-2. De La Cruz could finally end the top of the ninth. Does he go around? No, this is the third base umpire. Keep this one alive. Jonah Weisner, his 7th at-bat of the day.
Goodness. It does help the first couple innings. There's lots of at-bats.
Swing and a miss. Third strikeout of the inning. De La Cruz caps off the 9th inning. Oh.
What?
Unless.
Bateman and Weiser were talking. It wasn't a bad conversation. They were just chatting.
Huh.
Did.
Alrighty. Bit of confusion.
We keep going.
We do keep going. We'll reset here.
Runners advance to second and third.
They're calling it a balk is what it is. We're going to say that's our second balk of the game. Remember that one RBI scoring balk earlier? That time he got it. A play late, the runners advance, but he'll send him home. Now 15 strikeouts in 4 appearances this season for De La Cruz. 15 strikeouts to only 3 walks. We talk a lot about Ortega. Not a bad ratio as a reliever.
That's pretty good. Ortega got 7 times the amount of strikeouts to balls comparison. That's 5 times. What did you say? 3 walks. Not balls, sorry. Walks. We say 15 strikeouts to 3 walks. Yeah, so he's 5 times of what he's got. That's pretty impressive.
As a reliever, especially.
So
the Welland Jackfish, we've officially out-hit them for the game. That scoreboard, that middle portion of the scoreboard on your screen. The Red Sox are going to take the advantage in that today, just as they did in that Thursday 9-3 loss. But again, it's those errors, it's those little mistakes, and it's those wild pitches and balls that are costing this team runs. 16-7 heading to the bottom of the 9th. The Red Sox, they have life in the 7th. If they can put that in overdrive, this one could get fun in the end, but it's going to take some favorable hitting, perhaps a few lucky bounces, and maybe even a few home runs to that signature spot in right field. Getting ready, last half inning of work. Marshall Crocker alongside Brandon Barnard. It's been a pleasure to call your Brantford Red Sox IBL action today. Maybe if we have a sec, Brandon, we'll take one more out-of-town look around the IBL, see what the score of that London-Hamilton game ended up in.
Just that.
Assuming their games come to a close.
It's been a good call. I've enjoyed it. It's final. Score 15-2.
Holy cow.
So if score remains the same, Welland go 3 up. Is it 3 up on
London? That is correct. Yeah.
That's important for Welland.
16-6 was the record for Welland. 14-7 is the record for both the London Majors and Chatham Kent Barnstormers. That'll be 14-8 now for the London Majors.
I'll say this. That's a huge win. Well, score-wise, yeah, 15-2, huge win. But that's a good win for the standings for Hamilton, in the fight. Like, they're only 3 games up on these Red Sox, and that's a big win that they need against a top team. So
I think if you're in that playoff race, throws behind Takioka, does the hometown boy Howitt. But yeah, I think the real storyline is going to become once we get in the late stages of the year. There's 8 playoff teams in the IBL, 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, so on and so forth. The big thing is going to be seeding, and we've talked about, even just in this conversation, just how good the record is for those top 3 teams. The run differentials mostly back it up, although weirdly enough, Chatham Kent actually in a negative run differential position, despite being second. That one is directly at Takioka, and he's been tossed. Howitt, I believe, is ejected from the ball game.
No, I think it's a man. Is it Howitt or is it
It's either Howitt or the...
But because he never looked at Howitt.
When you're in this position, when this game has as much tension as it does, he threw behind him on the first, he hit him on the second.
Yeah. See,
you can't do that. You got to understand the situation you're in.
Takioka doesn't look very phased either.
Howitt's gone.
Yeah. The hometown boy comes back home, and I don't know why they're up by over double. I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, off that replay. That's a beautiful replay. Thank you. He pointed out to Howitt. I didn't see the point out to the pitching mound.
I totally support it. It's not body language. It's just think of the optics. Think of the game we've had. Warnings were issued to both teams already. You can't throw behind into a guy. You can't. Come on. Off to that side, especially Takioka. Brantford's most successful hitter to this point. The optics just look bad. I have some sympathy for him, but that's a good call by Trevor Stoico.
I'll say this. You know how I said earlier in the game, first few innings, Takioka he just always looks like he's having fun.
Yeah.
Unfazed by that. He just hit and just moved on with his day and just took it and just walked to first base.
Well, that's not a fifth hit for him, Brandon, but it is going to keep his perfect streak alive today. 4 for 4. Rene Takioka in this one. Single. 2-run homer to right field. And then a hit by pitch, I should say, to cap it off. What a day for number 14. He's going to start climbing back up that batting average leaderboard. Remember, he was at top of the league. He's come down. And he'll go back up.
He's come down thanks to number 10 on the Welland Jackfish. So.
That is true. Porcelato is the guy to bump him off, and Porcelato's had quite the day for himself as well. So, gonna have quite the race here for the batting title in the IBL.
Oh yeah.
I think both hitters should. Porcelato was a question mark because remember he's been part-time this year. He might not have the qualified number of ABs to get that title, but
it's still impressive though. You still can't take it away from him. It's still impressive. He's had a good game today as well. I know he's walked. First 3 at-bats he walked, but still very impressive. Takioka's got it. You got to think of the conversation. Does he get into play of the week? It's Sunday. So does this count as the week of last week or next week?
I think it's next week if it's Sunday.
So still a conversation. The one game, it's still an impressive game. I know we still have Friday's game as well. But if he can kind of come out there, put a good performance in there, it is serious. Pretty good conversation for him to get that.
We're still chatting here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. Still a conversation between Trevor Stoico, home plate umpire, who's writing up, I believe, the official ejection, official report. Might even be a couple players, I think.
I don't know. Third base umpire at the mound, as you can see, talking to 4 Jackfish players. They're just kind of talking. Nothing, no hostility. Home plate umpire, it doesn't look very hostile either. We'll get the Marshall special, get an ID on who's pitching. It's not use a little bit of commentary lingo from you. But we'll wait and see.
The Jeopardy music has now begun. Takioka is practicing his run off to second base.
Marco going to the pitcher's mound. Are they doing a coin flip? Are they doing a pick a number between 1 and 10 for who wants to pitch next? Put me in.
Yeah, that's a fun topic for right now as we wait here, and Takioka continues to practice steal. So I don't know if we have a camera on him, but it's fun just how dedicated he is to warming up here. But
number 38. Is that Noel?
Noel coming into the ball game. Last name, not a first name, for the Welland Jackfish. Number 38 will come in relief.
I will get you an
try to close this contest out.
An ID on that. Halen Noel. Halen Noel, Halen. So Halen. I don't know how the RPA announcer said it, but coming in a right-handed pitch, 5'10", 215. So pretty big guy.
Bigger body, bigger gentleman.
Coming out of Edmonton, Alberta. Rookie.
There you go. International. Like you said, international and really
national.
Cross-national today. You said California.
Oh, we got California's on the stream. Yeah, no, I'm just saying he's from... Yeah, counts. Okay, you know what?
That's an international game. We talked about earlier, Mejia by way of the Dominican Republic. Obviously, Takioka of a Japanese background. You got everybody here in the IBL. Really good diversity, not just in terms of nationality, but also baseball experience, where they've played.
Oh, I hope I can touch on the, if you look, yes, you can see your shot right now, looking behind Takioka and first base coach for the Red Sox, the massive height difference.
So here's a question for you, Brandon, as the Jeopardy music recues for the second time. If you hit in this league, let's say you get 100 at-bats in a season, how many base hits are you recording?
One.
One? Just one?
You know, I'll let in a little cue, because I told you guys before this, before we started the stream, I'll let you in. And you were a little skeptical letting me on this commentary booth. I did not know barely anything about baseball. I knew it existed, but a lot of like the major things like the pretty like the nitpicky kind of like intriguing thoughts. I'm not gonna exactly reveal what I didn't know, but I didn't know much. So 1.
There you go.
Maybe a half actually.
Just 1.
Maybe a couple fouls, and that's about it.
Do you know how it would happen? Because one of my favorite
lucky swing,
just you accidentally barrel. Would you just swing for the fences regardless, not even watch the ball and just hope?
Yep. I'm swinging, but like I'm swinging as he's throwing the pitch because I know I'm not going to swing that fast.
Right.
Like ball's not left his hand, and I'm swinging so that even if
ball hasn't left his hand.
Yeah, because I know I'm not going to swing very fast.
So are you just kind of you're just spinning, just a rotating carousel, consistently turning around until the ball happens to hit you? Like one of those, remember Wipeout? They had those spinning towers.
Yeah, with the one high arm, one low arm. Yeah, no. Because I'll keep going, and at some point I will hit it.
All right.
How many do you think you're getting if you have 100 at-bats?
I was thinking about the other day. I went to the park, took some swing. It was a hot day like this, so that's my built-in excuse. Probably took, 200 feet off my hits, but
so instead of 600, it's 400.
That's right. That's exactly it. Yeah, my car's parked about 200 feet back of the home run fence, and I'd hit it if I played. But no, I don't know. I think I could maybe get 3. I think I could walk. I think I'd have good plate discipline. Shout out. My girlfriend was pitching to me. We were having a fun little time. Let's just say I was having to take a lot of balls, like going by me from the girlfriend, but we had a lot of fun. I think I do quite well.
I don't even think I'd walk. I think I'd just swing at everything. I just make sure hit by pitch. I'm farming it.
Oh yeah, you think you could lean in on a couple?
Not even
just wear a big elbow guard.
I'll just wear like. Give me some like hockey goalie padding. Easy. Hit
Don't
by
know
pitch.
about the legitimacy, the legality of that in the rule book, but
I don't think there's a rule. I don't think there's a rule that specifically says you cannot wear hockey goalie padding while batting.
Made a good point. Here's Lucas Bateman.
Show me in writing, then we can talk.
Lucas Bateman to bring the bottom of the 9th soon to a conclusion. Takioka's been practicing the run. Finally gets it. Hit and run opportunity. Ball comes down. Right fielder will play it. A long tag up for Takioka. Ball's back. Gets past him. Catcher was there, though. Great job there by the catcher for Welland to get out there, to get on the angle for that. Because a lot of catchers don't go to make that play. They don't really try to get the angle. Yeah, Marco getting the angle on that play so that when the ball did miss, which you're not always assuming will be the case to that first base bouncer, he did a great job. And Takioka, that was incredible how far he was willing to come out and still think he could tag up on the base. And he did, although he would have likely been out had that ball not gone wide. Christian Ortega's back, 5th time today. Had that big double in the 2nd inning. Has gone hitless since then. Pickoff attempt on Takioka. Ball goes high. No play for Marchese.
Well, Takioka going all the way to second, a couple steps past, and then going all the way back to first. Little lucky, him couldn't really handle the ball well enough to keep it in his glove, but it's still impressive.
That one popped up in the air as Takioka advances. He'll have to come back unless that does go foul. It'll go wide. It's going to make it a 0-1 to start off Ortega's count. Remember, Red Sox fans, we'll be back. Friday's action is going to be back on the usual locations, wherever you typically watch games when they're not on Rogers TV. Tune back in, whether it's YouTube or otherwise. We'll be there Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time for the start of that one as the Barrie Bay Cats make the trip down to Brantford. And then we're back here on Rogers TV, where you're watching tonight's 1 week's time, Sunday, July 13th. Takioka goes, steal attempt, ball's in, ball's wide. Takioka add that one to his ledger. 10 for 10.
Beauty, double digits now. It was good. It was a good throw from Marco behind the plate there. He popped up well. I mean, being the third catcher of the third, I think it's the third of the day.
Yep.
Yeah, third catcher of the day.
Mullen, Gom got ejected.
Yeah, so being third catcher, he popped up nice and got a good throw in there, but I'm convinced he has some sort of he might have some force field, some aura rating around him that kind of restricts people, because that's the second time it's been tossed at the bag and it's just gone right through.
Would you say he's aura farming, as the kids say? Is that the common verbiage for the youth?
You know what? Sure. I never thought I'd hear it at a baseball game, but you know what?
Shout out to the youth out there. 1-2. That one well struck by Palos, but might come down to center field. It will. Ball's down. Takioka will come back. This ball game will continue with 2 outs, and Cassidy Watt being the final hitter with a chance to extend this ball game.
On the last out of the game.
Cassidy Watt, RBI single, regular single, strikeout walk. Not a bad 4 ABs today for the ever-present, ever-trustworthy back catch, Cassidy Watt, who's actually been playing third base since the 6th inning.
I'm hoping to see, like, maybe a run or two, finish the game off. Like, they have to score 9 runs to tie this game.
Noel's doing a good job pitching to contact.
Yeah.
I want to point out here. Around the IBL, the game just started there in Kitchener, Jack Couch Park. The Toronto Maple Leafs heading down to Kitchener to take on the Panthers. That game currently on the top of the second. 0-0, and the man on the mound for the Kitchener Panthers is Owen McNeil, the gentleman who had a no-hitter through 7 this time last week.
That was an impressive performance. That was like, it just kept going and going and going.
And it overshadowed Connor Irvin in a way that I don't think was fair. Irvin played really well in that start a week ago.
Was it 3-1 game, 3-1 ball game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a really, it was a tightly contested, nice defensive game. Irvin played incredibly well, which is why we're a little surprised it was, the result he did today. And
that ball chopped over to third base. It'll get by him. Big spin there by the fielder at third.
Back in.
Back home for a run. This game is now 16-8. They cut the lead to half. But still far away. His second run of the day, his first, was on that 2-run home run earlier today. So the day for Takioka, I just want to run this down one more time. So it was Cassidy Watt. I think I got how did I get my hitters mixed up?
Well, Cassidy Watt is on first right now, but Takioka did just...
Takioka came out. Thank you. That's my
get a
confusion.
run. He scored that run, yes.
He's getting to me, ladies and gentlemen. Takioka comes home. He's had an exceptional day with the bat. And he's had two successful runs and 2 unanswered steals. So what a day for 14.
That's an incredible day from him.
So here's Jeremy Veyu. Can he keep this one going?
Came up clutch for them on Friday night. Can he just keep him? Come up clutch, can't keep him in this ballgame.
1-0. Right down Main Street, 1-1.
That's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. For Noel to come in and not, like, obviously not be like he's ready, but like he's not expecting for Howard to be thrown out of this game. He's come in and pitched quite nicely.
Right down the zone again. Strike 2. This could be the last pitch.
Well, he was coming quite nicely. Like, I'm impressed. Like, he coming in, like, guy got ejected. I think that was what the holdup was, letting him get warmed up. But I mean,
the 1-2. Strike 3 swinging on Jeremy Veyu. This ball game comes to an end. The Welland Jackfish pick up the win on the road, 2-2, or 2-4-2, I should say, against the Brantford Red Sox this week. Had the win at home on Thursday. They do it in Brantford on Sunday, 16-8. Your final score: the Brantford Red Sox, they've out-hit the Welland Jackfish, 12-14 in that category in favor of BFD. And the one error of the ballgame going the way of the Red Sox. Palos had that little bit of a slip, his first error of the season, back in the second inning. The sun finally hides behind the clouds here as this one comes towards a conclusion. The fans start to trickle out, and that tension that's been stirring among the benches will hopefully start to sail away and head off down the road, not to be seen again. It started to get chippy here. This one, I think, once it became close, when Porcelado and Anthony gave up those couple runs middle of the game, the score got close again. I think tension's fired up. The heat's got to play a part. But I, one more time, want to say thank you to Trevor Stoico for doing an exceptional job at, again, maintaining a culture. Did a great job behind home plate today. And a lot of those guys often get overlooked, so I want to show him out. Again, one more time for our crew. You'll see their names in the credits in just a moment. But thank you to our entire squad making this game possible today. Again, I will actually start with Ryan LeVere here because, again, an exceptional cameraman. I'm so glad we had his services here today. Some of the best shots you've probably seen in this broadcast were likely coming from him. James Battaglia, Callum Tiernan, Mark Stansbury, Robert Kabinga, yourself, Brandon Barnard, many of all the Ryans that are here today.
Ryan Kennedy as well.
Ryan Kennedy. All of you have done an exceptional job. All of our crew here behind the scenes as well, not even just the broadcast, but those working live here at Arnold Anderson. The entire team, everybody that makes this game possible here for the live fans for Reverse Tariff season, as everybody comes out, tension starting to evaporate as the managers will come out and shake hands, a couple players having a conversation, getting on the same page. Finally, for you, Brandon, any final thoughts? Your first game on commentary. It was a long one. It was a hot one. We didn't put you in a position to succeed necessarily. You did well today. How'd you enjoy it?
It was fun. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I mean, I don't like when I'm directing, obviously, the game's done by the end, like the rest of the crew that we have. I don't say anything really. just really score bugging and just switching the cameras and make sure the stream's all right. So, I mean, it was pretty fun. I mean, I actually got to sit down, relax. I actually got to look at the comments of the streams. I look at the comments of the stream, say a lot of comments today, so I appreciate the Welland Jackfish fans, all of you for turning out today. I do appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad that I got to, like, I kind of actually got to move around and think, because usually if the sun's beating like this I was directing, I'd be cooking alive. So.
You're saying we're not?
Well, no, I am now, but I'd be cooking more alive than that. So.
Very true.
Thank you so much for bringing me on.
Well, thank you, Brandon. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let's wrap this one up for the entire crew here with the Brantford Red Sox. We thank you for watching IBL Brantford Red Sox Baseball. Back for another home effort on Friday. That'll be on your normal channels on the IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube. Back here on Rogers TV. We thank our new Rogers TV cable audience. Tune in next Sunday for more IBL action here with the Brantford Red Sox as they take on the Hamilton Cardinals. For Marshall Crocker, Brandon Barnard, our entire crew, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Stay out of the heat, and we'll see you in just a few nights' time.